Hey, Doc? Yeah, it's Blake. Blake Blossom. I've been having those dreams again. The ones in Bluff City. Yeah, they've changed a bit. The bus, it's a different color this time, and I've been wearing a pea coat instead of a windbreaker. But it's still nighttime. It's always nighttime. And it's always here in Bluff City. Yeah, that's right. I'm in Bluff City right now. I'm shooting a picture, an action thing. Cops, camaraderie, justice. You know, Hollywood stuff. No, it's not important that I'm here. I have the dream whether I'm here or not. The dream is what's important. Even if some bits change, the plot, the main events, they're the same. Every time. Like a drum line in an old jazz standard. The radio man gets killed. Half the town is having a party. The other half is in flames. And I'm walking down the boardwalk. And all around me, people are talking in weird voices. A helicopter goes overhead. And the radio man, his voice comes on. And you know what he says? Over and over again, he says, "There is no greater love." That's it. There isn't an end to that. He just says, "There is no greater love." What am I supposed to do with that? No, I don't want to go walk around the boardwalk. I haven't been to the boardwalk since I was a kid. We came for Christmas once, my parents and me. I remember because it was snowing. It was this terrible storm, and it didn't bother them because they were here to gamble anyway. But in my mind, even though it was December, I told myself I was going to have a beach vacation. So I did. I went out in the blizzard. I took my shoes off and I walked down the boardwalk through the white snow, and I closed my eyes and I listened to the gulls, and I pretended it was sand under my feet. And the sky was gray that day. But you know what? When I got back to the hotel room, Ma told me I got sunburned. No, Doc, that's not the dream. That really happened. The Bluff City in my dreams is different. Fires in the suburbs. Investigators in over their heads. It's more convoluted than any of my films, but somehow more realistic than the real city I'm standing in. The ocean waves sound heavier there. The cars turn the way they used to. And in my dreams, the casinos even let you win sometimes. Welcome to Friends at the Table, an actual play podcast focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between good friends. I'm your host, Austin Walker. Joining me today, let's go to the bottom of the screen here, Arthur Martinez-Tebble.
Hey, hi, I'm Art. You can find me on Twitter at @Tebble.
Keith J. Carberry.
Hi, my name is Keith Carberry. You can find me on Twitter at Keith J. Carberry. You can find the Let's Plays that I do at youtube.com/runbutton, please.
Alicia Akampora.
Hi, my name is Alicia Akampora. You can find me at Allie_West on Twitter, and you can find the show over at Friends_Table.
Jack DeKeat.
Hi, I'm Jack DeKeat. You can find me on Twitter at NotQuiteReal, and buy any of the music featured on the show, except Bluff City, but soon at notquitereal.bandcamp.com.
By now, they might be able to get Bluff City.
Yeah,
That'd be
I expect
good.
it to be up.
Because this will be in
It's like
November.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, check notquitereal.bandcamp.com.
Maybe it'll be there. We'll see.
People are listening to this while they're mad at their family.
Welcome.
Follow me on Twitter at Austin_Walker, and you can support the show at friendsattetable.cash. Today, we are going to be playing a new arc of Bluff City. We're going to be playing a game called Noirlandia, which is a game by Evan Rowland. It is not like I guess maybe a hack is right, of Questlandia, which is a game that's made by the same company who make Big Things games, and it seems really cool. I'm pretty excited about playing Noirlandia. I've done a little bit of pre-prep, because unlike most normal Noirlandia games, we already have a basic setting, but I'm still going to let us walk through a lot of the rest of the setup, because it helps kind of communicate who is in charge of what in terms of who can answer questions about different parts of the setting. This is a GM-less game. I am not going to be playing a GM. I'm kind of going to be playing a facilitator and being a sort of extra support person in scenes where you need a character played or where you need ideas, with a few rare exceptions, like the fact that I've already kind of set up what these neighborhoods are set in this fictional city. You'll play each game of Norlandia in a different city, if you were playing forward. Some will be quite familiar, some will be unrecognizable. As a group, answer questions about the city you're setting. As your group answers questions about the city, your setting will take shape. Step 1, corruption. Maybe your city started with the best intentions. Maybe it was rotten from the beginning. In any case, it's clear that corruption has taken hold. Roll a die. On everyone's character sheet, I'm just going to do this at the top of the page, record that your city is corrupted by... Someone roll me a 1d6?
Absolutely. That's a 2.
That's a 2. Extravagance. Ooh. For the sake of
nailed it.
This city, or for the sake of this game, the thing that is corrupting Bluff City is extravagance. If we're being honest, I think all of these possible things, which were technology, extravagance, deception, isolation, pride, and apathy, are all possible in Bluff City. But I think extravagance is a pretty good one here. So I'm going to write down at the very top.
Isolation just ends up being like a real Chinatown game about,
it's brutal,
about the
right?
trains.
Yeah. So, corruption, extravagance. Think about the implications of this corruption as you answer the questions to come. So, there are now 4 big questions. Norlandia cities are sometimes contemporary, sometimes from the distant past or future. The people are sometimes alien, sometimes just like us. Answer these 4 questions to flesh out your city. These questions are: how are the city's people unlike us? What do the buildings look like? How did the corruption take hold? What laws do the people live by? Let a different person start each answer. Whoever answers a question takes ownership over that aspect of the city, writing it on an index card. After each question, everyone can take a moment to discuss details and ramifications. Don't let these conversations go for more than a few minutes. You'll have the chance to expand upon the answers as you play. In a 3-player game, one person will end up answering 2 questions and owning 2 cards. In this case, that's not true. Everyone here will own 1. I'm going to make a little more space on your sheets to let you record what this law or what these kind of things are. Broadly or briefly, I do want to add that I think I like the notion of this game taking place in a sort of near future Bluff City, not far future, not flying cars, but like slightly more advanced technology that like where we don't need to necessarily explain why things are a little bit more advanced. Or the alternative here is also leaning into our Dark City shit and like having it be still like 1970s and 80s beaters driving around the town, but like also people have, some modern technology or even near future technology on top of that. I kind of want to lean into the sort of like unknowability of Bluff City in this episode. So be willing to be even a little bit more mysterious and mixed up in terms of like what the touchstones are here, and like that shouldn't necessarily even be played for laughs so much as just like, yep, this is just the way that this world works for whatever reason. So keep that in mind. So how are the city's people unlike us? Does anyone have a good answer for that? And whoever answers, they will be kind of given that thing as part of what their, like, kind of authorship is.
And these should be informed in part by the knowledge that we have that the corruption taking root in the city is based around extravagance?
Yep, totally.
I mean, I guess I have a pretty good idea of what the buildings would look like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing a lot, like, especially during like the lead up of like, hey, what's Bluff City about? Like, I had in my head like a lot of sort of coastal or capey looking towns where it was like very boardwalky. Stores look like houses that are stores, and then there's like the inner city part where it's just like lots of like brick running onto brick, like shops and offices. And then it gets more housey. Like it's all stores, but it gets more housey as it goes out.
So like a mix, so like converted residential spaces.
Yeah. Like in my head, I have on Cape Cod in Massachusetts, there's like a rule that you can't have like a regular storefront in some towns.
Oh, interesting.
And so there's a lot of stores that are literally just houses.
Cool.
And so I think like that sort of style, but instead of standalone houses, it's like strips of these sort of house-shaped like boardwalk style stores and shops.
I think this is a really good thing too, because one of the things that I've done already is set up what the 4 kind of districts of this town are. And again, as always, Bluff City has like a base in Atlantic City, and the way Atlantic City works is like it's Atlantic City, and then to its north is like a richer town off on this like other little island called Brigantine, and to its south are other cities on the same island, but that are also higher income, less directly connected to the casinos, and that's like Margate and Ventnor, and it keeps going. And I kind of like the notion of like, yeah, Atlantic City grew, but the local people, or Bluff City grows, but in those luxury kind of upper class areas, they put that notion into effect, which is like, no, we need to at least remain looking like a cute residential shore town, so those places have turned into like commercial touristy places, but they still put on that front of like, this is just someone's house. It's just now you can go in there and buy crystals, and you can go in there and buy jewelry and whatever, so it's like a slightly denser version of Bluff City than we've seen in that sense, which is interesting.
I think Go ahead. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I've given Keith ownership here of buildings.
Thank you.
Keith, you made it.
You got buildings. You own a building now.
I think I have some ideas for how the corruption took hold. Taking hold is a really interesting sort of description for how that happens. And I wonder if among the Bluff City's sort of aristocracy, there became a trend or a fashion for essentially galas. And these started out as charity galas, but as is the way of a lot of charity galas, it wasn't just that their original purpose began to become increasingly unclear. What the charity was and how it operated and who it operated for was also very unclear. Like when you think about a charity gala, it's very much a case of like, hang on, what is happening? What is happening?
Right.
And I think that there was a winter of these. Some years ago, there was a winter in which some senior figures in the senior socialites in the city, in the what's the name of the upper crust called? The Shore. Yeah.
The Shore. Yeah.
Some socialites in the Shore began to, and I think it was probably just a group of friends. I'm almost picturing like a. God, what was that club that Virginia Woolf was part of? They all sat around the table, the Algonquin Round Table.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And picturing like an Algonquin Round Table who begin throwing these galas for each other, and it just takes off. And it's
like pet causes at first, like it is tied to specific causes, but then bit by bit it becomes that the events are the thing more than.
And it begins to spread down into by the time the holidays come. And this gala season is just like in full swing, and it's being reported in all the papers. It begins to trickle down into the upper middle class, who are also throwing galas, even if they might not be invited to the sort of the Algonquin Round Table ones. And it kind of grips the city.
I like that, especially because it is holiday time. This game, obviously, it's releasing in November, probably late November.
So I think that this like the first great gala season happened maybe 2 years ago, but because we're in the second anniversary of it, or the third anniversary of it, it is gearing up again.
Right. Okay. So then I'm going to set it for like early December is what I'm going to put this December 7th.
Can I take that and use it to try to answer what laws the people live by?
Absolutely.
This might be too like, I want to like take something very specific and like generalize it out, and it might be a little odd, but never be the first to arrive or the last to leave.
Okay, so it's the laws are like this is like a social law about is that extendable into broader senses of like life?
Yes,
like
that is the ethos. That is a dominant ethos, and it gets more and more like abstract and vague as it goes into like other, most of the time you're not going to a party,
right? But you're going to work. You're going to over for dinner. You're going to the dinner table.
Yeah.
Right.
Are people fucking late for work all the time now?
Or like, is everyone just kind of like, is it like a game of chicken, right?
Right.
Like, and like it works in business, you know,
Right.
it works in social things, you know.
Which is also contributes to this to the corruption leading to the downfall of the city, right? Which is like the government is like your council person shows up late to the meeting, and then you only get X amount of time with them, and then they don't, and then they show up late to meet with whichever contractor they needed to actually build the new gutter system throughout Bluff City. And
then it's also like the government doesn't want to be the first person to. No one wants to be the first person to help something,
Right.
Or you
Right.
know.
So it's this kind of air of indifference, or like you just have to be cool all the time, and being cool means not caring that much.
Right.
And having other things going on, or at least the appearance thereof.
Yeah.
Allie, that leaves you with a question.
Yeah, this is tough for me because like I was thinking of my character specifically being kind of like down and out, but I don't want to make that like that's such an easy thing to do, to be like, oh, our city's corrupted by extravagance, and like we're not.
Oh, but this is, sorry, us in this case means the people on this call, not the characters.
Oh, okay.
This is like unlike us, the us in 2017.
Oh, okay.
The example in their like fictional city is like, oh, everybody wears masks. Like
Yeah,
that's how
that's
far
why-
it goes. You know what I mean?
I read through that and I was just like, I don't know that that's gonna work here. So
It might. I don't know what happens in 20. Right now, I've written this as year 20XX, so I don't know.
Fair. I just don't like. I don't think that that's the most interesting thing, despite
Me either.
not
But like,
having a more interesting thing. Yeah.
It could be like, and this is like a big one, but we could use it as a starting point and then work down from here. What if the primary spoken language isn't English?
I'm interested in that, but my fear is that opens us up to readings that we might not intend. We might pick
Yeah.
a language thing here that's
Yeah.
a thing, and then like, okay, the rest of the story is going to be read through that lens as being a political allegory, even if we did not set out to do that.
Yeah, which is
Also,
again,
also
I
to be
think
clear,
America might be too fucked up for that.
right? And also, English isn't our primary spoken language, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's the people on this call, but I think they want to go broader than that with us, right? Like they want to go, how are the people unlike us means something more significant than, well, not more significant, but more reflective of a larger change in people. Like I think if this was a Cold War drama, I think that would mean like the notion that, well, I was going to say that nuclear war could happen at any moment. Things have, And that way, they're a lot like us.
I don't hate like communication being the thing though, where like communication might be like less vocal than we're used to. You know, where like
Right.
there's more communication happens more through like either like writing channels like chat rooms or like letters even like whereas like if you're in a place talking to a person, that's like a bigger deal. That's
there
only,
like
a
a
professional sort of situation, whereas like
right.
the like intimacy between people is sort of like stretched out in that way.
So like you still have intimacy, but it's only through mediation. It's only through letters and texting and like signals, but not through like things you say in public.
Right, yeah.
I like that a lot. Like because that again kind of makes this whole like the whole world's a party, and you're always in like your presentation face. It isn't masks, but it is masks. You know, like it
Right,
is
yeah.
like you're always just in your most professional mode, or your most not even professional. Professional is the wrong word. Like your most guarded and like there's almost something like throwback to like Jane Austen style. Like you're in your public persona, and then when you have those moments of deep connection through letter writing or through whatever, that is when you're like all the way in on like a deep emotional connectivity.
Right, yeah, exactly. But like everything that you say out loud is a performance, and people understand that because it's like a thing.
Because they're also doing it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Cool. Language and socialization or communication. Cool. I wrote buildings there, and that's not right. Difference, language and communication. Cool. So, Let me scroll up, find the space again. All right. So those are the big questions. Now would be the districts. So for people who are listening, and that's everybody, basically, in front of us is a big cork board that I've put up with 4 different, like, fake Polaroids, each with a suit from a deck of cards. Each one represents a district in Bluff City or the surrounding area. In this case, it's always the upper crust, the downtown, the outskirts, and Skid Row. In our case, it is, and this is something that I've decided based on just like the history of Bluff City, and I'm using my like 1 or 2 moments of wanting to use GM power here to kind of tell this broader story about Bluff City. It is upper crust is the shore, which I mentioned are towns kind of on the outskirts of the casino area of Bluff City. They are the areas that are higher class, like white collar workers, moneyed individuals, heirs, and other kind of, insofar as Bluff City has landed gentry, they live at the shore. Downtown is the boardwalk. It is the casinos. It is where tourists come mostly. It is these massive not skyscrapers actually, but these tall buildings, these, dozens and dozens of floors high, that have a great deal of commerce and exchange, and is kind of the roaring heart, or would be the roaring heart of Bluff City, but it is the middle of the winter, and it is also, we're in this moment of deep corruption, so who knows what that looks like. Maybe that actually looks like there's more people, I don't know. The outskirts are the mainland, and on the mainland is where the people who work in Bluff City and who are like middle class, upper middle class, lower middle class, like that whole range lives out on the mainland. So they have to come into work via car or bus or train. And those are, I'm curious how that connects to this kind of GALA culture that we've put together. I'm curious what their perspectives are. We'll have to fill in the blanks there. And then there is the Cove, which is effectively city projects, housing developments for kind of low income people that is on the same island as Bluff City. And that is kind of in an inlet to it's interesting. It's like it splits where one of the shore communities is from the rest of Bluff City. So it's like super rich. And then you come down this bridge, you literally drive down a bridge into and past the Cove. And so you kind of always have sight down into this little inlet that's surrounded by low-income housing. It looks like it's funny, like the designs are all based on the same house of a town or it's the same house in one of the shore towns. So it's just like a cookie cutter, like over and over again, one family house next to one family house next to one family house. And at the end of some blocks, there are larger structures that do have, apartments. But families get these low-income housing houses that are all just like, you can't leave your door without seeing another house that is basically copied off of something someone rich actually owns and lives in and is theirs for real. So that is the Cove. And those are people who do also work in Bluff City, but they are doing blue-collar jobs. They are doing, maintenance and janitorial work. They are working in transportation. They are working in security. They are not doing the kind of, they're not dealing cards. They're not taking business meetings. They're not in, small business ventures like the people on mainland are. So that is the neighborhoods. Those are the districts. Next, we talk about the city's language and name. We have to decide whether it's mostly realistic, fairly strange, or alien or unrecognizable. My gut says we're in between realistic and strange, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty...
kind of like an analog that I think of here, even if we're not talking like aesthetically the same, is that like the Gotham City in Christopher Nolan's films is definitely an American city, and it definitely has shades of specific American cities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's distinctly this strange space.
Right. I mean, I think even Gotham City in the animated series is actually a really good touchstone here, because like there's an airship, but also, and like people are driving huge Art Deco cars, but also like, not Tim Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Not yep. Nathan Drake goes off
Bruce
to
Wayne.
who's the first Robin? Wow, what have I?
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson. Thank you, Art. Dick Grayson goes off to play college football. Like it's still America. It's still very much has these echoes of real America. So
Yeah.
Atlantic City by way of Gotham is a really good setup for what this place, especially at the height of GALA season, right?
Right.
Cool. And it's called Bluff City. So now it's time for the characters. Put some playing cards out on the table. One more than the number of players. So in a 3-player game, put down 4 cards. In a 4-player game, put down 5. I've already pulled one for our victim. There's a really cool thing this game does that I am skipping past because of me being a jerk. But I am going to just draw out a few more. 2, 3. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to still draw 5. And that way, because one of the things that drawing 5 does is that it means that there's one extra on the table for people to choose a character from without it being without it being like, ugh, I'm stuck with this character. Everyone always will have a choice. So, you also need to roll a number of dice. So I'm going to roll 5 dice here. 3, 4, 5. Random side. There we go. Each set of for each card, roll a die and place it on top. So yes, I'm going to just do that. I didn't know if that was like a before or after thing. There's that one. 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 Each set of card and die represents one character. Have someone read out loud what the cards and dice represent using the 3 lists below while someone else records the character's descriptions on a piece of scrap paper. So, who wants to do that? I think that list is in here. Let's see. It is.
Yeah, I got the list.
So what do we got, Art?
So the 7 of spades would be a out-of-towner who operates out of the outskirts, which makes sense.
Yep.
And their guiding principle would be never betray my own. That's interesting.
Weirdly, this is interesting. The principles list on their table in the back of the book does not have the 6 in there. So it is never betray my own. That's interesting. Never betray whatever they are. Cool. Next.
The 10 of spades is next. That would be also from the outskirts, of course. This would be a government agent / intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And their guiding principle is tell no lie.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. We have the 7 of hearts. 7 is, again, an out-of-towner. This one operates out of downtown. And the 5 is justice must be done.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah. But that's a strong... strong pull too. All of our remaining characters, both remaining cards are jacks, and jacks are both private eyes. We have one that is spades, so it's from the outskirts, who has a 4, which is never reveal my true self. And then we have the jack of diamonds. Diamonds represents the upper crust. They have a 5, which is justice must be done. No clubs. No one here is operating out of Skid Row.
No. So, at this point, everyone decides which one of these is really interesting to them. Lay out the descriptions where everyone can see them. Each player chooses a character they'd like to be and takes that description. If multiple people want the same character, politely talk it out. Once everyone has taken a character, there will be one extra card and die on the table that nobody else chose. Leave it there for now. Is any of these really jumping out?
I have 3 that I would super happily play, so I feel like if anyone has if anyone's like, this one is mine, they should go first.
I have 2 that I'd really like. I am going to say that I don't want the government agent / intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants that, go ahead.
I think that's a really interesting one, if I'm being completely honest, especially because with tell no lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's in my second tier.
I would like to be one of the 2 out of towners.
Mm-hmm.
Their other descriptors each have like I could take or leave in terms of I like some of one of them and some of the other.
Right. So either of them work. It's just
Either of them work for me. Cool. So I'm good. If anybody wants to be an out of towner and has a specific one of the 2 sevens that they like.
I think I have a specific one. I would be prepared to alter, but I would like to take one of the jacks, who is the one from out of town. Okay. The one who can't reveal their true self.
So they are
the
not,
outskirts is still in town.
Yes, the outskirts are still in town. The outskirts means like they live in the suburbs. Is literally what that means for this.
Perfect.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
This is the character who I think it is, Jack. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
I
go ahead.
nearly changed my mind because I found a better name, but I also like her name, so I think I'm gonna take these.
So go ahead and what is her name?
So this is Florence Slowly. She is she used to be a detective, like a working for the police force, but she is now a private eye. She is old. I wasn't expecting this to be a game in the future. And when I pictured her in present-day Bluff City, Bluff City. We are
thinking about Bluff. I'm not saying she can't be old. Being old is rad. I'm into it. But think about Bluff City as always being a little to quote our friends over at the Dark Souls podcast, which wrapped up recently, the Bonfireside Chats. Bluff City is a little timey-wimey, right? Like things are time moves strangely in Bluff City. Would say the narrator, and it is totally feasible for her to be old here, and also for us to play a game that takes place earlier in time, and for her to be even older there. Play the character how you would like to play her here.
I think there's a point at which, as a kid, you look at your parents and go, "Oh, they're old," and then there's another point when you look at them and go, "Oh, they're old." And I think that Florence Slowly is somewhere between those 2 points.
Okay.
So I think she's in her mid-60s, her early 60s.
Cool.
All right. If Jack is going to go with that private eye, I want to take the other private eye.
Nice.
Okay. So you're the other private eye. What is your principle, Art?
The 5, which is justice must be done.
Okay.
And represents the upper crust, which I think there's some interesting potential there.
Yeah.
And the name I have for this private eye is Tyler Taylor Pierce.
Good name. Also, briefly, you don't represent the upper class.
Right, that's where they operate.
You operate in that space. That's an important distinction
it's
for rules things. So then, Allie, you have out-of-towner with Never Betray My Own, and you operate out of the mainland. And then, Keith, you have out-of-towner who operates out of downtown and has Justice Must Be Done.
Yeah.
Does either of you have character names?
Yeah, I have a name. Should I use my character's name or their nickname?
Their nickname. So actually what you decide here is what your character... we'll get there actually in a second because...
Okay.
But yes, you decide what your character is called. It's not necessarily your real name. It's what people call you. Then what I would be...
What font were you guys using?
I'm using Candle.
Joe Command.
Kendall.
That's it. The Joker Man font. So at this point, what I would be doing is be taking this 10, which is what was that? What's 10 government agent?
Wait, do we know who Allie is?
We don't have names for either Keith or Allie yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we do know we do know which cards they took. Names and stats are the next step, but the thing that's actually right now is creating the victim, who is this 2 of clubs that I pulled before. 2 is actor/performer. Clubs is the Skid Row. So in this case, it's the Cove.
Wait, sorry. I thought 3 is actor and performer. 2 is urchin.
Oh,
vagabond.
2 is urchin. Interesting. Okay. I'm just gonna take. You know what? That's fine. I think that's fine. This character has a vagabondish quality. I for whatever reason, you know what it was? Is like I looked at this list and was like, oh yeah, the second thing is actor performer. Right. I drew it too. It's the specific character based on what we've done before, which is like this character is the character who was the narrator in the first thing. So I could shuffle that card back in. Let's see if I can do that. Can I do that? Well, I've taken this card. How does Roll20 work? Well, now I've zoomed in on this card for me. the thing that I need to do is like really need to do is get in here and just grab another card, but it's fine. It's fine. So I don't want to like just keep dragging. I'm just going to leave this 2 out and just use that. And I'm going to keep this 10 out too, just so it's out of the deck. And a 3, what was a 3? 3 is tell no lie. That's interesting. Yep. Okay. So...
A vagabond that tells no lies?
Yeah, so it's a vagabond radio person, priest, vagabond, radio man, dead at age 36, says the center of our screen. Hector Who, priest and radio man dead at age 36 by, I think her name was Jennifer Jetta, is what I named this reporter. There we go. One character was left unchosen. That character is the victim, whose murder you'll attempt to solve together. Give the victim a name. If you need ideas, refer back to your city's language. Write the victim's name and draw their picture if you'd like on a piece of scrap paper. Then draw a big X over the name or picture. Pin them to the center of your corkboard amid all 4 districts. So let's draw a big red X there, huh? X. Bam.
Rest in peace.
At this point, you're done using the cards and dice for now. Shuffle the cards back together and set the dice aside. So actually, we do just bring all of the dice back now that we know who we all are. We do know who we all are, right?
Back.
Should we write down what our things were? Or does everybody know on the top of their head?
I wrote it down on
write
like a
it
separate
down.
thing. If there's space here on the card, I would like to do that.
All right, yeah, you can probably do it in the bottom somewhere. So yeah, I can just actually I can recall and shuffle.
Text. So I am a private eye from outskirts. Do not reveal. My principal is there already.
Yep.
Nice. God, the text tool in Roll20 is like a piece of work.
It sure is.
I don't like it.
And it's not a good piece of work.
No, it's bad. It's a bad
Sometimes
piece
you
of
have
work.
a piece of work that's good, and this isn't one of them.
Wait, are we not going to use the other 4 names we came up with?
Yeah,
or
we're gonna
are we?
we're gonna get there in a second. Wait, what do you mean the other 4
right.
names?
You told us to each come up with 5 Bluff City names.
Yeah, and you'll get
right.
there in the course of this game.
All right, I'm really proud
on,
of my
Art,
names.
you
If we
can't just
weren't going to use them, I was going to just read them all out.
You can't just front load all the names, Art.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Bluff City is
3.
going to exist forever. You got to keep those names.
You should. Everyone should just have a list of like 30 Bluff City names, frankly, to pull from. On your character sheet, transcribe the
I
detail.
have 4 now.
Okay. On your character sheet, transcribe the details given to you by your card and die, your identity, your district, your principal. Make sure you remember what your districts were, too. Do people remember what their districts were?
I wrote it down in Joker Man.
Okay.
I did not.
So then you write down what your characters' names are. So let's go again from left to right.
Oh, I got too small.
Oh boy, that's really small. Art, you are Tyler Taylor Pierce.
Yes.
Keith, you are.
Patty Fink.
Okay. What's your character look like? Also, we're gonna go over appearances. So, Patty, what's Patty look like?
Patty is tall, sort of broad-shouldered, and she's got like sort of mid-back curly hair.
Okay. Tyler Taylor Pierce. What's Tyler Taylor Pierce look like?
Tyler Taylor Pierce is someone who wants so badly for people to think that he's more well off than he is.
Okay.
Tyler Taylor Pierce, he has the most expensive suit that they have at Men's Warehouse, but no one's really told him that that's not a very good suit.
Right.
But he always looks impeccable. He's got he's always wearing a nice coordinated tie. His pocket square is always intact, and he gets his hair cut every 10 days.
Like on the money.
Yeah.
Even if it's on a
Every
Sunday?
10 days.
Even if it's on a Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
Well, not if it's on a Monday because barbershops are closed on Mondays.
Not if you know all the barbershops in town.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha. Allie?
Barbershops closed on Mondays because people have their day off on Sunday, and that's when they get their hair cut. So barbers close the next day.
I'm sure the barbershops in LA are open 7 days a week.
Allie?
Yeah, so it's like a chain. Yeah.
Allie?
Hello, hi. I'm playing Christine Andrews. She is kind of tall and lanky. Has like really short cropped hair that's like pushed to the side, but also somehow like always in her eyes. Never wears black pants because she like has the tendency to like rub off her hands on her hips. So they're always like dark washed jeans or like something in the middle.
So she's of mind enough to know not to do that at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Florence Slowly.
I think that when she was younger, she sometimes when people retire or move to the suburbs, they soften, they become softer as they get older. The opposite happened to Florence. She became sharper. She became more sharper elbows, more bird-like. She's tall. The picture that I imagine is Tilda Swinton in every Coen Brothers movie she's been in. Where she always looks like she has arrived in the scene quickly but immaculately prepared.
Great. Okay. So now you need to make stats, and this is pretty easy. There are 4 stats: body, mind, heart, and rep. They are basically what they sound like. I can go over them more than that if you'd like, but I think rep is maybe the only one that's a little like, what's that mean? But it means your reputation, right? Like, if you are asking for a favor, if you are trying to get one over on somebody by saying like, oh, well, I know so-and-so. Or if you're trying to like get a thing even, maybe. Like if you're trying to buy a thing, I would say rep, or like, get some information from somebody. You assign stats thusly. You have a 1 black die to add, which is bad, and 1 white die to add, which is good. It's a very Fiasco style in that that's how these 2 die colors work. The highest a stat can go is 1 white. The lowest it can go is 3 black. As we play, they will go up and down.
Can you tell me what page number the stats are all defined on?
Maybe.
Because I see like what.
Oh, I think at the very back of the book, maybe there's a glossary. Let's see if that's true.
I'm seeing page 36 is...
They're there, but are they
they're not like defined.
There?
Oh.
Yeah, I think that they're pretty... like, its mind is thinking about junk.
Heart is feeling about junk?
Yes, heart is feeling about junk, yes.
And body is your junk.
I mean, maybe here's the other way of doing it is... right. What the word is next to these things helps explain, right? So, like, having a white dice in body means that you're vigorous. Having a white one in mind means you're sharp. Having a white one in heart means you're content. Having a white one in rep means you're trusted.
Okay.
I think I have mine ready.
Go for it.
If you want me to, like, go ahead. So we get 2 ones that aren't there, 1 black one and 1 white one, right?
Correct.
So Florence Slowly is able in body.
Okay.
Conflicted in mind.
Okay.
Content.
Conflicted is black.
Uh-huh.
Right? And, body is nothing, right? Able is, there's
able
no
is,
dice there.
Able is nothing, yeah.
Okay.
I'll write these down once I've said them.
Okay.
Yeah. Able in body, conflicted in mind, content in heart, and overlooked in rep.
Okay, so the good one is heart, you're content, and the rough one is mind, you're conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And I think that those 2 aren't mutually exclusive. I'm happy there being stuff that she is content about and genuinely content about, and there is stuff that she is conflicted about and genuinely conflicted about.
Cool. You can write this next to the thing here instead of me dragging these big dice there. I'm going to need these dice anyway.
I love the text tool.
That's great. I use it a lot. Who else has stats?
I've got stats ready.
Okay. Patty Fink.
I am... Patty Fink is able in body. That's the neutral. Sharp in mind. That's the white die. Quiet in heart. That's neutral. And then suspected in rep. That's the -1.
You're not from around here. So.
No, I'm not from around here.
Oh, can you write that stuff down too, though, actually? The you're not from around here bit?
Yeah.
All right. So Keith has made my decisions for me.
Thank you.
Because I was also going to be sharp in mind, I can't then also be the same minus in rep. And I couldn't decide if Tyler Taylor Pierce had done some dirt or just people thought he'd done some dirt. So I'm deciding he's guilty, but he's not suspected.
Okay.
Nice.
Because I think Tyler Taylor Pierce as a private eye who operates out of the shore, he does a lot of fixing, and I think he fixed something the wrong way. I'm still working on it, but I think he did something.
Okay.
Like a fix.
So that means that your mind is sharp and your heart is guilty. Good. And the rest of them are
Someone
normal.
got fixed, you know. Yeah.
Allie, how you feeling? How's Chris?
The ones that I went for neutral, I think I want heart to be quiet, and body is going to be vigorous, which is my white die. I think I'm going to put black into conflicted, which means my rep is going to be overlooked.
Okay, cool. And conflicted is mind?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So the next thing is we have to write down what the relationship with the victim is. And Keith, can you again just write down what your like out of towner plus?
Oh yeah, I've got it right. I just didn't click that side of it.
Oh, gotcha. There we go. What was your district? Also,
my district was downtown.
Your downtown, right?
Downtown.
Cool.
Downtown.
So last, we have to figure out what your relationships were with the victim. You could be old lovers or involved in a recent affair, partners in business or in crime, close family or distant admirers. This
old lover was with this priest Dibs.
He's a weird priest, is what I'll say. I'll give you a little bit about him, which is he had a morning talk show on WBRK, The Break. He was a man of faith. He said that he was, whenever asked, he was from the One True Church. People have seen a number of different certificates of seminary school and training and officiant's licenses that have all checked out. They've all checked out. It seems as if he has been trained to be a priest of a number of different Christian faiths. He is also a big-time conspiracy theorist. Everyone knows and loves him. He is like kind of a fixture. He's sort of like, what if Alex Jones wasn't terrible? What if Alex Jones...
I have no frame of reference for that.
Okay, what if... do you have an uncle? Do you have any uncles who are conspiracy theorists?
No, I actually literally have no uncles.
Oh, okay. Well, there's your problem right there. This is a guy who believes in the Obama assassination. He believes Obama was killed and replaced with a different person. And because of that, has we'll do a whole. He's a little Rachel Maddow-y, right? Which is like you have to follow along with him, and the end result ends up being like, how do I make people's lives better in Bluff City? But it always hinges on weird old things. Now, the funny thing about all of this is that he had a principle too. I don't know if you remember what it was. It was that he can't tell a lie. So, either he just deeply believes all of the strange conspiracy stuff that he would spit during his AM radio morning show.
Also separating him from Alex Jones.
Right. Or, yes,
or it's
absolutely.
all true.
Or it's all true. Exactly. He, of course, famously was part of the reason that the laws were passed that allowed Graysand Paranormal to act in Bluff City. He gave a stirring speech about the need for paranormal investigators in Bluff City, and we all know how that worked out. So he's been right more than once. He's probably been wrong a number of times. And when people confront him about that, he says, everybody's been wrong once or twice. Jesus flipped the tables. And that's the whole of his defense. So how do you all know him independently? Chances are there will be some crossover here, and that will be how you know each other too.
I worked with him on 2 cases.
Ooh. Okay.
On the first case, and this was back in the day when I used to work for, I guess, BCPD? Is that what they're called?
Yep, BCPD.
I was told by some other people I work with that I should go talk to him, and I was like, this is bullshit. This is going to be a complete disaster because I've heard your radio show. You're a nice guy. You're not going to be helpful. And I went and I talked to him, and he gave me a bunch of information, and he put me exactly on the right track, and everything went great. And then the second time I was like, let's go check out Hector, and it was a complete disaster. And I got led completely into the weeds. It all
It's like a bad Sherlock Holmes game, like a bad consulting detective game where
right.
You talk to him and he just leads you on some bullshit about lions for the next 3 hours.
As far as Florence can tell, this wasn't malevolent. This wasn't Hector going like, I gave her 1. This is not going to go the same way last time. As far as in the moment, everything seemed like it was going exactly as it did the first time. It just did not result in closing a case.
What do you know what the thing is that he led you down the garden path on?
It was to do with a robbery. It was to do with a bank robbery, actually. A fairly fairly big bank robbery that took place, and that I was working on finding out who did it,
Okay.
and trying to piece together some stuff. And he had a very interesting theory about who did it.
Do you know what it is? Do you want me
came
to
to
tell you what it is?
You can tell me what it is.
He thinks it's the Coast Guard. He thought he was certain it was someone in the Coast Guard.
The Coast Guards that robbed the bank,
Yep, 100% he was sure of it.
and they had not.
They had not. No.
Or you just never you just didn't find out that they did.
Someone admitted to it. You arrested somebody. They admitted to it. They are serving time.
As far and the result of that was that I fell out with 2 people. I fell out with Hector Who, and I fell out with the Coast Guard.
Right. Who else knew Hector and how?
Hector and I are close family.
Oh, you're close family. You're close family?
Close family.
Like cousin, like uncle?
Like cousins who grew up together.
Okay.
He's older by like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, but that's
like,
close enough.
But close enough. Yeah, he was. Actually, I'm gonna do this. My dad's uncle David was like his same age, and they lived together for a while. It was like one of those things where like his mom my grandmother had a much younger brother.
Gotcha.
So this is my mother's much younger brother.
Okay, so your uncle,
Hector.
but is
Yeah.
very close in age. I have one of those.
And it has a different last name because it's a second marriage.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Patty and Chris, how do you know
Hi.
Hector?
Patty is a low-level criminal and snitch who was one of Hector's conspiracy theory sources.
Gotcha. Patty knows some stuff. Patty's been
Patty
out of
knows some
town.
stuff.
Patty knows stuff about the world.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
And Trent and
I lived in D.C. for 4 months.
Oh, wow. That's where the politics happen, so you know it's true.
that
Allie,
fake Obama
Chris.
they got.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that I listened. Well, it has to be like I would have to have known him, right?
Yes.
Well, like do radio hosts have like a meetups in the way that like podcasters do?
Yeah. Well, one
Yeah,
of the
they
things
do.
is
NPR
distant
has
admirer.
parties.
Yeah. Art, what was that?
One of the examples is distant admirer.
Yeah,
but it has to
totally.
be a mutual admiration.
That's true.
Okay, yeah, because I think that she listened to his show pretty religiously, like not tuned into it.
Did she write in or call in ever?
Yeah, okay.
Because I
maybe
like
she
that
called
notion
in
a
kind of
lot.
often, yeah. I think of her as someone who like doesn't sleep a lot. So whenever his show is on, she is awake and like that is the only thing that she is doing. So she like also because the whole like communication thing is also really weird. Like she's
Right.
he's the only person she's really talked to.
Yeah.
Like, talk to.
Yeah.
So she
think
calls
that's-
it a ton. Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes him so liked is that because his job is to be a wonky conspiracy theory preacher on the radio, he feels weirdly genuine compared to most people. He is in his presenter mode all the time, but that just means like when you call in and talk to him, you're allowed to be in this other mode of conversation. You're still putting on a mask, you're still like presenting yourself in a certain way, but it's like such a different way than like the guarded GALA way. And so I think that's part of what the appeal has always been for him, but also that's always made him kind of like an outcast in his own right?
Austin and Allie.
Yes.
Do you know who Doris Enrico Park is?
No.
No.
Doris Enrico Park was this like low-level famous listener / caller into overnight sports talk radio. And she would call all the time. She would always be on. And when she died, it was like a big deal.
Huh.
And like she never like did anything really, but like I don't know. As someone who didn't sleep a lot as a kid, I would listen to that show. I knew who she was. Like, I don't know. It's like
I like that a
that
lot.
was my touchstone for
Yeah.
this. But like, I mean, because like, and she was very much a local. Like, there's no way Keith has ever heard of her, and
No.
and you know, at a lower % chance that Jack has. So
Right.
like,
Nope.
but that was my idea for that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. apparently she used to always call off or say thank you for your time and courtesy before she finished.
Yeah, she was like a big Mets fan.
Doris.
That's what she wanted to talk
Doris
about.
from Rego Park, Rego Park. She called him to fan in New York. So yeah, I think also Hector's show ran from like 2:30 a.m. like from the there's like the late night adult contemporary show that runs from like 10 to like from like 9 until 2:30, which is like I've described this to Jack and Allie before. It's what the hell is her name?
Delilah?
Delilah. Yes, thank you. And like after that program ends on WBRK, that's when Hector Who shows up, and then he runs his show from like 2:30 a.m. until like through the morning. Like there's a moment at which it becomes just a morning show where he throws to traffic, and it's just like a very weird thing, because if you listen at 4 or 5 a.m. it's a much different show than if you listen at 8, where he has guests on, and like it's like a very, and you can hear when the call-ins change. Like there's a moment at which a bell is rung and like the show shifts from being a kind of just a long-running freewheeling talk show to being a more produced morning news and chat show. So that's what
it's when the producer arrives, right, and gets into the office and puts her back down and puts her headphones on and like
exactly 100%
sits forward in front of the mic and says good morning.
Exactly.
How was the night?
Yes. And he goes, Melissa's here or whatever, and like that's all right, so that's how we know who everybody is at this point. We know who all the characters are. We've done intros. It's time to learn about the murder. I'm going to shuffle this deck, and then I'm going to draw
so good.
2 cards. Draw 2 cards from the deck. These are your first leads. Leads are people, places, and things that will help you solve the mystery. The first card drawn is a location, the 7 of diamonds, the scene of the crime. The second, let's say, what is the 7 of diamonds? Who has that list open?
Oh, fuck.
I got it. I think it's right here. 7 is a restaurant. It is a restaurant, and diamonds is the shore. So it's a restaurant on the shore.
Like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
Or like a hot dog stand. Like it could be anything.
Well, no, because this is the fancy neighborhood, right? So
okay.
So we know that it's something. It's some sort of restaurant. Well, we should figure out what it actually is.
Fancy hot dog stand.
It could be. It could be like a
that bar rescue was on recently.
What's that fucking awful burger? It's not fancy, but what's that burger place that we hate?
fucking Burger Club. Fuck off, Burger Club.
Oh, fuck Burger Club.
Okay.
Fuck Burger Club.
And 2 is the item, is a thing, is an object. And that thing is the 2 of clubs, which is an official document.
Oh my god.
Figure out what the 2 leads are and where they were found by using the tables. So the second thing, it does say a suspicious object found at the crime scene, but maybe it's found at the crime scene, which is in the upper crust, but because it's the 2 of clubs, that means that it's about something in the cove, so it's an official document about the cove. So that's down here. Do you see where I've written restaurant on the shore? Can you see that I've written that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's small, but
Yeah, I mean, I can't change that.
Now that I noticed that there's words there, I got it.
Well,
I
you can
see,
zoom in on the whole thing.
Right.
Can make it really big.
I can also do this. That's too
boy.
big. That's a little too big.
Boy.
That's
go a little bit
that's
bigger
a
now.
little much. Thanks.
There we go. So let's see. Figure out what the two new leads are and where they were found by using the tables. Describe the location in a few evocative words. Give it a name and write it on a piece of scrap paper. Then pin it to the corkboard in the district that shares its suit. Do the same for the object. So is it like a fancy hot dog place?
I do like that. I like a cloth napkin lobster roll place.
Yeah. Is it doing that sort of like the sort almost like the Rosemero thing of like, yes, we're at the shore, but classically Bluff City had wonderful hot dogs, and like it's very dressed up like throwback food.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's like if you went a little, I forget the geography of this place. If you went like a little bit south where the worst houses are, it would be the same restaurant, but lower prices, worse food, or maybe not even worse food, just lower prices and like shittier atmosphere.
Right.
I don't know. I've definitely been to a place that advertised like a Kobe beef hot dog, which is one of like this.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like
a good
the
usage.
super fancy Japanese beef that's like $100.
Yeah.
What's the name of this place?
Is it something really like condescending, like the shack?
Yeah,
like-
probably.
Oh, I was gonna go the other way. I was thinking like Showdog.
Oh wow.
Yeah, show dog.
The murder at Showdog is so
Show
good.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
Fancy hot dog shop. Got it. Show
Well,
dog.
that's what the gala that's happening there
Is
next
it a
week is
dinner
about.
theater?
Is about the it's raising money for dogs
For dogs? For show
Well,
dogs?
it's raising no, Austin. It's raising money for
sorry.
show dogs that have been kicked out of shows.
No, like they're
My
past their
cousin's
prime.
dog was a show dog that got kicked out of shows.
Oh, there we go.
My cousin had a deaf dog that was a show dog, and when they realized he was deaf, they like put him in a shelter.
Oh, that
Oh
sucks.
my god.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
yeah.
should be.
There should be some
he
money
ran-
raised for those.
He trotted circles around their dining room table all day long. Show dogs are broken.
Great. Okay, show
I
dogs.
love that dog. That's my favorite dog. That isn't my my dog's better than that dog.
Okay, official document. I don't know that we give more on this. Like, it doesn't say like, and then describe the thing more. It
What
just
makes
says
it a show dog?
Well, that's like part of the mystery, right? Is like what's the document, right? I mean,
right. I think so for sure. And also, it's one of the next steps is like, what state is the victim in? Is it clear how they died? I don't think you know how Hector was killed. You just saw this news story or you heard about it. Like, I don't know. How did you, like, maybe he didn't come on that night, Chris. Like, and he never misses a night.
Yeah.
He rolled into town like 6 years ago and then like hasn't ever missed a night.
There was the week he was just hacking, coughing into the microphone. Everyone hated it, but he was there.
We should also note really quick that this is probably a good place to talk about how graphic or veiled we want the violence to be. If anybody ever feels uncomfortable, you're free to veto a scene or like pull the shade, pull back the veil and say like, let's not get more gruesome than that. I think we're probably in line with where we've been as a show in general. But if anyone feels like, we should go a little bit softer this time or whatever, just feel free to say that. The book wants to encourage us to have that conversation. So
I remember people are eating their Thanksgiving dinner
right now, in this moment.
right now. They're like, "Hey, Mom, I want to put something on while we eat," and they picked this podcast.
Yep.
Hi, we're
like-
a podcast about show dogs.
Oh, you don't think people are wearing like Bluetooth earbuds, like low key, trying pretending like they're listening, but actually have the show in their ears?
I
Could be.
Because this is an episode without like swords and stuff, I would like us to kind of pull back a little bit on the like graphicness.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Just because
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't love it.
That's super
so.
fair.
Okay. I'm just moving these dice back up to where we need them to roll things. Your goal in this is, and I'll just read this whole bit. By now you've created your city, introduced your characters, and learned a little bit about the victim. The scene is set. A strange city, a foul crime, and a handful of would-be detectives on a doubtful hunt for answers. It's time to start role-playing. Your goal is to find the truth. Specifically, you need answers to 3 questions. 1. Why was the victim killed? 2. How was it pulled off? 3. Who did it? To get your answers, you'll play out a number of scenes. In every scene, one player character will be the protagonist. This scene will center around the protagonist's action and struggles, and the protagonist will dictate the setup and direction of the action. After some free-form roleplay, the protagonist will attempt something difficult or dangerous, making a challenge roll. At the end of the scene, after role-playing the consequences of the challenge roll and possibly some more free-form roleplay, the protagonist will make an investigation roll, which will hopefully bring you closer to answering the case. Investigation rolls generate leads and connections. Leads are the people, the places, and the objects that hint at the murderer's cause. Each time you get a lead, you'll pin it to the corkboard in the district. Connections are the strings that tie leads together. To get an answer, you need a chain of 3 connected leads. These rolls can also generate answers and escalations, which we'll get to later as we continue. So we just start by deciding who the opening shot is on. Who is the first protagonist for the first scene? You could take turns being protagonist in any order, but nobody can take a second scene before everyone has taken their first. So where do we open?
I have like a goofy start idea, but like honestly, if any of you are sitting with "I have a strong idea," you should definitely take it.
No, mine was
before my
goofy too.
Pun-based opening idea.
Oh, mine wasn't pun-based, but it was goofy.
All right, go Keith.
I want to make sure, doesn't no one else has like a non-pun-based or non-goofy start to this murder mystery?
I have a goofy first shot. I want to be clear.
Art's is probably stronger than mine is.
I'm fine with either. I just, whoever thinks they have the
Almost
strong
like
one.
if Jack and Allie, a good pregnant pause, decide if they have a rocket of an idea.
My
name's Jack Tequita. I can solve this mystery in one scene.
Here we go. Consulting detective. No, I don't think I have anything.
Okay. All right, so either Keith or Art, give me this opening scene.
Okay, so a thing that Tyler likes to do is hang out at Showdogs, but he doesn't like spending Showdog prices.
Oh my god.
So he goes down to the Cove and grabs himself some alley dogs. That's not a place.
Excuse
That's just
me?
people.
Excuse me.
Oh, Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Ali, not Alicia.
No. Yeah.
Oh, is that? No. Well, their
I didn't
dog,
even
they're
think
alley
of
dogs
that.
because they're in the alley. They're Alicia dogs because the restaurant is called Alicia Dogs.
It's called Alicia.
Well, no, it's. I'm thinking my pull is the bacon wrapped hot dog carts in Los Angeles. Have you ever seen those? Anyone? It's a shopping cart with a grill top on it. I honestly
Sorry,
don't know where
Mr.
the heat
Hollywood,
comes
never
from.
been.
This is not a Hollywood thing I'm describing.
You said at Los Angeles.
It's a real big city.
Yeah, well, listen, Mr. Hollywood, we don't know the geography of Los Angeles.
Again. So he gets these cheap dogs, and he has some old wrappers from Showdogs.
God.
He goes to Showdogs and sits and buys a soda and eats his other hot dogs.
Well, I think
and
we
tries
just
to,
get-
scare up some business.
Does he actually get in or not? Like, does he actually get all the way in, or is this a situation?
No, I think he rolls up and he has he gets out of his car with his dogs. And he's rewrapping, and he sees the crime scene tape.
Right, we get whatever the intro music is over Tyler literally pulling dogs out of a paper bag, wrapping them in the wax paper and foil or whatever, and putting them into a different bag, in his car, and then walking up the side. He's parked at these roads. The roads go up to the boardwalk, and there's little ramps that go up to the boardwalk. So you're parked in a place where you can see where the ocean is, you can see the beach, and you can see the walkways up to the boardwalk, and we just get a nice following trolley shot of you walking up. And then what do you see?
I think that there's the tape up, and there's the place is kind of crawling at cops.
Okay. So,
And what I
just want to read this for everybody else at the place here, because this is when you're not the protagonist, you're a supporter. And what you do is, once the protagonist describes what they're hoping to do, everyone else at the table will help to bring the scene to life as supporters. Supporters have a duty to describe the world, to introduce conflict, and to jump in as characters. These characters could be their own or other characters in your city. Supporters ask each other questions like, what should Painter's Row look like? Or who wants to roleplay as the palace guard? You'll be taking on the role of traditional game master, so be ready to support each other and brainstorm on the fly. You're welcome to enter the scene as your own character, but remember, during the scene, you're playing a supporting role. Keep the spotlight on the protagonist, whether you're helping or opposing them. Add conflict if the scene feels like it could use it. You don't have to oppose everything the protagonist attempts. Use your cinematic intuition. If you're not sure how to shake things up, draw a card and consult the dramatic hits table on page 92. If the protagonist attempts something difficult, dangerous, or both, it's time for a challenge roll. So, Art, what were you saying?
So he walks up to he's trying to just get some information. So he finds whatever cop is manning the line, and this isn't Tyler's first time stumbling across a crime scene. He knows the guy at the tape doesn't really have that's not the guy.
So this is about trying to get past the guy? Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get through here to talk to whatever detective is back there.
Does anyone know what this guy's name is? Or this cop's name is?
I might have a name. Let's see. Yeah, this is Magnolia James. Magnolia is a nickname. His first name is James.
Okay, so his name is James.
His name is James Magnolia James.
Okay, sure. Magnolia James. Gotcha.
Or not Magnolia James?
All right, it could be.
So
could be
James is his nickname?
No, because sometimes you have a nickname up top. What's a good one? like big Adam Smith
Pistol Pete
or whatever.
Maravich. Pistol Pete Maravich.
Right, exactly. Also, Big Adam Smith, of course, the capitalist thinker, the great capitalist thinker, Big Adam Smith.
Big Adam Smith.
The invisible
Ad.
big hand.
Yeah, the invisible big hand, yeah. Do you want to be Magnolia, Jack?
Sure, yeah, I'll be Magnolia. So where are you going?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna slip through here for a second.
The restaurant is closed.
Oh no, I already got any. But
Wait, hang on. Wait, were you here earlier? What did you see? Those are
Yeah.
clearly Showdogs.
Yeah, I was here
rappers,
earlier.
sir.
yeah, of course they are. I was here earlier. I got these.
Well,
I'm
you're going to
actually
need to
trying
come with me, sir.
I'm trying to return these.
Well,
These I don't think meet the that they say if it's not best in show, it's not coming up with an ad slogan on the fly.
A show dog. It's not a show dog, says the manager of
it's
the
not
place
best-
from behind
Yeah.
the like from the behind you, who's upset that they can't go into work.
Yeah, so I need to talk to I'm trying to get my money back, and I know it comes in the form of store credit. You know how it is. They can't just be handing out cash. I could be tampering with these in some way.
well, sir,
Well,
there's
like-
been a murder.
Oh, a murder? What? I mean, I think these are a little below standard, but I wouldn't kill anyone over it. How'd you say it happened?
Oh, can I just answer this, or do we? Have
I don't
to
think
do
this no, because that would be a lead, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think either this
That
is a challenge.
information is. Oh, is this a challenge? Do you want this to be a challenge hard, or do you want to get in and have more challenging challenges?
I don't know. I mean that would certainly get us there.
Yeah, so what I'll explain a little bit about the structure of this at this point. If you look at the sequence of play, this explains it a little bit, which is that whoever the protagonist is in a given scene will do a challenge roll, and then some point later in the scene, it might be immediately after, they'll do an investigation roll. And the investigation roll is what will generate the actual leads or the negative consequences. In this case, it might be a situation where getting in is the challenge, and then once you're there, there's the investigation, which is talking to people and trying to figure out, what the...
That sounds right. I mean, he did just lie to a police officer
Yes.
and then say, like, "Oh, I'd never kill anyone."
Yes. So I'm for that being a challenge roll if you are, Art.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So I'm rolling.
So let me explain how challenge rolls work, because I want to make sure we actually get this. Once per turn, when you attempt something difficult or dangerous as the protagonist, you'll determine the outcome with a challenge roll. You might be convincing police of your good intentions, duking it out with the street gang's bruisers, seducing the mayor, or outwitting the high school's chess team captain. First, decide which of the 4 conditions best fits this challenge: body, heart, mind, or rep. Everyone can weigh in, but the supporters have the final say. This feels like...
Just like rap.
I could see rep. Because you're like, oh, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just, I'm just a regular person. Don't worry about me.
Person in my nice suit with my nice haircut.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'll go with, I think rep's good. Allie, are you good with rep?
Yeah.
Okay. So then once you've agreed, the protagonist rolls 1 white die. And the way you do that, Art, you just pull one of these dies down and pull it down here. The one that's underneath.
Okay.
Then right-click it. Can you right-click it?
Random side.
Multi-sided, random side. You got it.
All right.
So that's a 4. Then any supporter rolls a black die. Someone pull a black die down near this white one. And right-click it.
Me.
And then hit random side.
Multi-sided, random side.
That's a 3. Take a look at the protagonist condition governing this challenge. If it gives any white or black dice, roll those as well. You don't have anything plus or minus in rep, right? You were overlooked? Right. Okay. So no, there's nothing different there. If you roll multiple black or white dice, put only the highest dice forward. In this case, there's only one. So, for example, if you're rolling a body challenge, nope, okay. So you compare the results of the white die and the black die. If the white die is 2 higher or more, you succeed unconditionally. Narrate what your success has brought. If the black die is higher by 2 or more, you fail. And if neither die is higher than 2 or more, it's a stalemate. One supporter will offer you a bargain. If you accept the bargain's condition, treat your roll as a success and keep the white die. If you refuse, treat your roll as a failure and keep the black die.
Huh.
So, at the end of the scene, you'll add your kept white or black die to your investigation roll. So, in this case, you rolled a 4 white and a 3 black, which means it is a stalemate. I'm going to read about stalemates so that you can know what a bargain is. When the protagonist makes a challenge roll and gets a stalemate, a supporter, it's any of us right now, can offer a bargain. By accepting this bargain, the protagonist succeeds on the challenge roll, but in return must damage one of their conditions, decreasing it by 1 step. Supporters, you can choose to damage whichever condition you believe would best serve the story, so that when the protagonist tries to plead their innocence to the police and rolls a stalemate, here are some bargains a supporter might offer. Here are examples. If you accept this bargain, they'll leave you alone for now, but they will grow suspicious. You damage your rep. Or you can convince them if you sell out your friend Nicholas, they'll hurt him instead, and you'll damage your heart. They'll only believe you if you agree to keep a secret microphone in your pocket. Here, having the police listen to everything you say will bring down your mind to conflicted. Protagonist, if you accept the bargain, you'll take the damage described, then narrate your success, and keep the white die, which is going to help you in the investigation stage. If you refuse, describe how failure made the investigation harder, and keep the black die. So, does anyone have any good example or good bargains for Tyler Taylor Pierce?
I have something.
Yep.
So my initial idea for a scene was I think Patty Fink was at the shore that night selling fireworks to kids. And
illegal, by the way.
Yeah, illegal
So
fireworks. Yeah. Here's the thing. In Bluff City, you can have the fountain style fireworks where they shoot sparks, that's
Yep.
legal, but anything that shoots a rocket is illegal. And
That is accurate,
AKA the good fireworks. And so I had the good fireworks. I was selling them to kids, and I can get Tyler Taylor Pierce into the back door at a damage to his reputation.
I mean, the thing here is, like, it doesn't have to be your character who does it. Like, you basically saying, like, Patty will show up and be like, hey, I'll get you in the back door?
Yeah, basically. I think I overheard this. I want to also get in. I know that there's something going on in there. I want to get. I'm like, hey, listen, you're that fucking that private eye guy. This we can do this. We can get in here and figure out what's going on.
It's up to Art. We could all offer bargains, by the way. We can all, like, competing bargains and then have Art pick.
My bargain is I will tell you how they were killed, and you'll be able to see the crime scene, but you'll be able to see the crime scene from a desk while we interrogate you, because you said you were here earlier.
Which would be a damage to what?
Probably, I think, I kind of want to say heart, because it would be very disheartening to arrive at a place intending to do this and suddenly be like, as far as we know, Art's character has nothing to do with this murder.
Right.
And has just arrived attempting to eat some hot dogs and is now basically in temporary custody.
Which would then turn the investigation...
attempting to be seen eating hot dogs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Thank you very much. Which would then mean that the investigation role that Art then does would be at an interrogation table in which he is trying to get details as the person being interrogated.
Is trying to ask details from him, yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, reiterate what the damage there is?
Heart. Because you'd be
Heart?
disheartened.
That's a good one. I think rep is too important to Tyler Taylor Pierce to take Patty's offer.
Okay. So you get arrested here. Is that what's that look like?
So what happens is Art says, Tyler Taylor Pierce says, how did he die? And Magnolia says, well, I'd like you to come with me, please, and lifts the tape up, and you're like, nice, I get to go in. And then he moves behind you and firmly places a hand on your shoulder and guides you into Showdogs.
Hey, what?
Well, you're going to be coming with us. You were clearly here earlier, and earlier is when the murder happened in time.
This is outrageous. I am a good customer of this establishment, and I do not appreciate this treatment.
Well, whether or not you're a good customer of Showdogs, you were placed... In fact, because you were a good customer of Showdogs, you were placed in the scene of the crime just prior to the crime. And, look, here's the thing. You strike me as someone to whom your reputation is very important to you. If you told me a lie earlier about how you got here, just admit to it now, and we'll be fine. But otherwise, I'd like you to come with me since you were here earlier. We can sit down and talk this out.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was obviously here earlier. Here is the product I'm trying to return.
Yes, well, sir, I can see that.
So do you, I think like you get led to the break room, basically, where there's been an impromptu interrogation room set up.
It's an it's just a desk with an Anglepoise lamp, except the Anglepoise lamp is now facing towards the other side of the desk.
Perfect. Good. And there is a detective there. Does anyone have a good detective name? Because I do, but I I want to make sure everyone gets their good their names in.
I like Dean Malco as a detective.
Ooh, Dean Malco.
Oh, really good. How's that spelled?
That's great.
Malco.
Detective Dean Malco. Thank you very much. What's Dean Malco look like, Allie?
I think that he is like early 50s. Wears his pants up like really high, like shirt tucked in like above his belly button. He usually has a coat that he's wearing, but it's like on the chair, and he's like standing to the side of the room because he kind of just wants to like watch to start. I think that he like salt and pepper hair that has been combed over that he like clearly dyes black.
Okay. Good. So how do you go about trying to get information here, Tyler?
I mean, I think that happens a lot in like cop shows. They'll like show you pictures of stuff to like try to make you feel like guilty about it. Mm-hmm. But I guess this is too soon to have any photos.
It's the future, right? Maybe Polaroids are back.
It's the future, so Polaroids are back.
Yeah, like phones can just print now.
I don't think that's the way phones are going. But
things go weird.
Those exist.
See?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to like act. Here's the thing. I don't think I did this. And I'm trying to like use like, I'm just trying to be like really obstinate about it. I'm trying to like get him to think that I could be broken here. Mm-hmm. And I'm sort of like slow playing my alibi, which is that these hot dogs obviously didn't come from here, and that's where I was.
Right. Exactly. Maybe we should just jump to the investigation roll and like base it from that and how that scene plays out. Also, remember that you have a -2 in heart now, not a -1.
Oh, right.
Your heart has been damaged.
Everyone's favorite thing to do is figure out how to edit text in Roll20.
I can just do it really quick. I'm capable. There.
All right, why don't you grab that for me?
All right, so it is an investigation roll. So, at the end of every scene, the protagonist makes an investigation roll. This roll can affect the progress on the case, the protagonist's conditions, and the city at large. The protagonist can call for the investigation roll at any point after their challenge roll. Sometimes the investigation roll will be part of an active challenge, like interrogating a witness or searching the basement for clues. Other times, the roll will happen after the scene's action has resolved and will tell you about the surprising consequences. To begin, give the protagonist 2 white die. Give any supporter 3 black dice. So let's drag 2 more down here. There we go. Then add another black die for each escalated district, which we don't need to do, because it hasn't happened yet. Then again, the supporters decide which condition best fits the investigation in this scene: body, heart, mind, or rep. Award any white or black die indicated by the governing condition. This feels like it's either mind or heart, right? I think it's mind.
I feel like you're trying to outwit these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Started on a real great footing.
one more white there. Then the supporters, we did that. If the protagonist succeeded on their challenge roll, and for each answer your group has found, there are no answers that you've found yet, give a white die to a supporter, preferably someone who hasn't had a big role in this scene. So I'm going to put that over here. If there are multiple white dice to give out, divide them as evenly as possible among the supporters. These dice are called bargain dice and don't matter quite yet. See the changing the outcome section below. Everybody rolls their dice. Black dice on the left, protagonist white dice on the right, bargain dice below. We're not doing it. For us, it's left is protagonist, middle is like challenge or investigation, and far right is the extra dice. So, Art, you're rolling these one at a time. You could do them all at once, but that's okay. Do them one at a time.
What's happening now?
Okay. Who wants to roll the black dice?
How do you do them all at a time? Because I would love to learn how to do that.
You like left click and drag to get them all.
Okay.
Then you right click the selected box and hit multi-sided random side.
Okay. Oh, that's only 2.
You missed one, so don't hit the 6 or the 2. Get the one that's number 1 and re-roll that one. There we go. And then Jack or Keith roll this last white die on the far right.
I'll do it. Here we go. That's 6.
All right. So, now we have to pair these off, which is fun. The opposition always... Okay, 1 second. Everybody rolls their dice. Bargain dice, blah, blah. The opposition always puts forward their 3 highest dice. In this case, 3, 4, and 6. So that's not... In our case, 2, 6, and 5. So, there we go. 2, 5, 6. Then the protagonist puts forward any 2 white dice, pairing each white die with 1 black die. If one of the bargain dice looks appealing, the protagonist can make a bargain with the supporter and get it.
Now,
I'm going to... Yep, go ahead, Keith.
this part of the book had something confusing that I didn't quite get.
Yes.
Where it was saying, like, you don't always just want to put your dice with the highest black dice.
You definitely don't.
Okay.
I'll explain why in a second, because the outcomes are not like that. And also sometimes you want to get a different outcome. So the way this works is you get a hit if your white die is higher than the black die that you're assigning it to, right? So Art has 2 6s and a 1. You're going to put forward those 2 6s, I'm guessing, Art, right?
Yeah, almost certainly.
So when you get a success, when you get a 6, when you get a hit on a 6, you're going to be able to find an answer or add and connect a new lead. Create a lead from scratch or connect it to any other lead, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that in a second. If you're losing, and you will lose on one of these, right? So you have a 2, a 5, and a 6 out. On a 2, you will pin a new lead to the board, your own character, in the district that they operate in, and you damage your rep, decreasing it by 1 step. If your lead is destroyed, your character then dies as if you missed on a 1, because there are other things that happen. So like the 5, on a 3 to a 5, on a miss where the black dice is a 3 to a 5 and you're not blocking it with one of your positive dice, you damage your condition. And on a 6, if one of these is a 6. So if you don't block that 6, you either escalate a district or you destroy a lead. If you destroy a lead, then it can't be used to connect. You can't connect to it in order to answer a question because it's been destroyed. Except there's one little side thing there, which is if you operate in the district where the lead is, you personally can still use it to connect to it because you're from there. You know how to work through it. Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's important to know which one of you is where, right? So like, we have a lead in Skid Row, but none of you operate in Skid Row. None of you operate in the Cove. And we have a lead in the Shore, and one of you, just Art, operates in the Shore, right? Just Tyler.
Right.
Taylor Pierce. So in this case, you have 2 6s and a 1, and then the challenge has a 2, a 5, and a 6. Where do you want to match those up?
My impulse is to do that.
6 on the 2 and 6 on the 5?
Yeah.
Which would mean
And
that
let the 6 miss.
right. Well, and let the 6 miss, which would mean you. Okay, sorry. I should walk that through more carefully. Draw a card. Look at the district that shares its suit. If it has any undestroyed leads, destroy one of those leads. If it has no undestroyed leads, so it's a 1 in 4 here, or not really because we've already drawn some cards, but it's basically a 1 in 4. If it has no undestroyed leads, escalate the district. And escalation means things happen in that district that make it harder to win there. There are riots in the streets, or fires, or who knows what. I will say there is another thing that you could do here, which is one is that ties go to the defense and go to the challenge, not to you. We don't have any ties here, but if you did tie with that white die, the 2 6s, you could break your principal to successfully break it to win that tie. I don't think that comes up here necessarily. And the other thing that you could do is you could now look at the bargain die from over on the right. As a protagonist, you'll only roll 2 or 3 white dice. However, if your group has found any answers, or if you succeeded on the challenge roll, the supporters will also roll white dice. These are the bargain dice. On any investigation roll, any supporter who rolled a bargain dice can propose a bargain. So in this case, Allie, you rolled 1, you could propose a bargain. These bargains work like the bargains on challenge rolls. A supporter can propose how you'll get lucky in the investigation at the cost of harming one of your conditions. However, unlike in challenge rolls, bargainers in investigation rolls can propose a purely narrative cost. Accepting a narrative bargain doesn't harm a condition, but you'll still have to fulfill the end of the bargain to the best of your abilities. Narrative bargains might look like you have to lose your lucky hat to the abyss, or you have to adopt every single one of these abducted Dalmatians, or you'll need to vow to put every single member of the corrupt monarchy behind bars, even your father. Sometimes there'll be a few good bargain dice available, and you can hear the proposals for each of them and take whichever one you prefer, if any. However, you can accept just 1 bargain dice, and even after taking it, you can only put forward 2 white dice. So no matter what, there's always going to be a miss. There's always going to be like the downside hitting back. In this case, that doesn't matter because you rolled 2 6s. So
Yeah.
but glad to have all that out there, basically.
Well, there's some things you might want, right? Like there are hits results you might want more than
Totally. That's totally true.
in this case, because it matches, there's literally no reason to take.
So now that we have the outcomes, you get 3 outcomes, 2 from the pairs and then 1 from the unpaired dice for each white die. That's a hit, and you, Art, get to narrate what that hit is. Then each black die that's greater than its paired die or is an unpaired black die, any supporter can narrate the miss. Tied dice count as miss, blah, blah, blah. I think we do the positive ones first and the negative ones second. Let's see.
So we're going to create some leads to destroy.
To destroy, exactly. Missing on this. Yep. Okay. All right.
Real
So
quick, if ties are a miss, how do you beat 6?
you break your principle.
Oh, okay.
And so you can tell me how you break your principle.
Like unbeatable without.
You need to have exactly. And so the other thing there is you can only break your principle twice. That's what those 2 circles are next to your principle. And also breaking your principle will lower your result in the end. Your epilogue will be worse or maybe not will be, but you'll have a lower chance to get a good result. Or it's not a lower chance. It will be worse. You'll have more negatives in your end narration based on how many times you've broken your principle. So
That's rough.
yeah, it's rough. So let's talk about finding new leads. Create a lead from scratch and connect it to any other lead. Or if there is a chain of 3 undestroyed leads connected on the board, you can create an answer. I'm going to pull up the thing about how that works. Because the thing that I'm not sure about is like when you add this lead, you're not drawing it, right? It's not a random lead. You're not drawing a card. You're just introducing a new lead from scratch. So what do you find, Art?
Great question. I mean, I think the obvious first one, and I'm probably gonna need help for a second lead, but like, I get a cause of death, right? They do the thing that I was hoping they would do, which they like tip what happened.
Okay. What is it?
He was shot by someone else in the restaurant.
Okay, so gun was shot to death.
Yeah, shot by a gun, close. You know, there's the powder burn.
Like the gun was close, is what you're saying.
Or is that leady enough?
Yeah, I think that's definitely leady enough. I'm just going to add it to the table. 1 second. This is going to be in the upper crust area because that's where it's happening. It's going to be at the shore. Cause of death, gun, close range. Oh, and do you connect it to? Let's see. Let's read this thing again. Find an answer or add and connect. Oh, so yeah, you also connect that. So I guess that's connected directly to Showdog, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can add and connect another new lead.
Anyone?
Maybe it might be worth doing something with the document that we have.
Oh, right. You could connect something to that document. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I talk? Can we find
Yeah, we can
maybe
talk it
it's
out.
one of the detectives slips up and says something about the document, the mayor has to come get that.
The mayor's good.
and then we can link it to what I assume is downtown. That's usually where
Right. It's
that's usually where the mayor
it's a
is.
situation where the guy says the detective says no one who isn't from the mayor's office is going to know what's in that envelope or something like that, which is the worst. Dean, come on, Dean Malco, you got to do better. So yeah, the mayor or mayor's office. Which one, Art?
I think it's the mayor.
Okay.
I think the mayor wants to know about that document.
The mayor. I put an exclamation point. That way everyone knows.
Have we discussed the mayor?
No.
Do we have a mayor
We
yet?
don't. Let's have a mayor.
Fun.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
The mayor is named Ali Frazier. He is played by Steve Harvey. And he is from the town, which is an improvement over the last mayor, who was basically installed by the governor. Actually, I think there was years when Bluff City just had a city manager. Exactly, Keith. Yeah, that was just the worst sort of shitty oversight that doesn't understand anything about the local community and doesn't care about the local community, only cares about getting the casinos more money and making business changes, but not actually making sure the water is clean or that the schools are good. And then Ali Frazier roared into office the second that the city manager was gone. And Mayor Frazier is a big fan of the galas. Big fan. Strides in to every gala, right in the middle of it, the perfect time. Does a lap, shakes everybody's hand, gets a little too drunk, eats a little bit, and then leaves.
Shrimp.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then leaves. And is I don't know that anyone likes him necessarily, but there is a sort of respect to his game. He hustles,
It's he sure is a mayor.
Yep, exactly. Here's a side question. What does an interrogation sound like in a world where the social mores have it that you're always at this kind of distance of communication? What does putting pressure on Tyler Taylor Pierce look like? Because it can't just be good cop, bad cop, right? Or if it is, bad cop means something different here.
I mean, maybe that's it. It's there's the cop that's giving you the social experience you're comfortable with, and the cop that's not doing it. The cop that's
what do you
all
think,
the way in your face.
Ali?
Yeah, it is Allie's. That's true. This is Allie's ownership thing.
Yeah, I like that more than my first idea, which was that instead of saying his piece or whatever, Tyler was really brought in to just write a statement. But the timer on that goes shorter each question they ask him.
Oh, I love that. That's really good.
That's great.
Okay.
So that's what's the first question?
So the first question is just basically when you were here, lay out the scene for me, and he has 10 minutes to write that. But then they ask
which is great because wait, you have 10 minutes to write this answer, and they keep looking at you and and you keep writing it, Tyler. So what do you say when they're describe the scene when you were here hours ago? What do you write down?
It's he's because of course he wasn't there.
Right,
It's
yes.
it's what day of the week is this?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Is that in
All right,
character?
So,
It's Thursday, sir.
Okay, great. So it was Thursday. I was here.
It's still Thursday.
It's late. I've been in this interrogation a long time. I don't know. It's still Thursday.
It's been 3 minutes.
Rude. Time stretches on you when you're locked down.
Indeed,
You only
it
do
does,
2
sir.
minutes in an interrogation. The day you the minute you come in, and the minute you go out. And you know, I arrived in my motor vehicle, and I parked. I got a good spot. You know, you don't want to be too close. You don't want to be too far. You know how it is. I got out. I went to the counter, and they gave me the greeting. You know, they're like, "Hello, welcome to Showdogs. What'll be your pedigree tonight?" And I was like,
A picture of Steve Harvey just appeared, and it was bigger than anything. And I was startled.
I want to be clear, I didn't look hard for this picture. This picture just appeared to me. It's Steve Harvey in a bad blue suit with a big old cigar. All right, we can continue.
And you know, what'll be your pedigree tonight? And I said, good evening. Thank you, sir or madam, for that greeting. And I inquired about the specials. They told me they don't do specials on a weeknight. You got to come on the weekends for the specials. And I was like, I'm sure I was here last Thursday and you had a special. And they're like, no, we didn't, I assure you. I was like, are you sure? Because, you know, Jimmy was here, and Jimmy's always about sir.
Right.
Jimmy doesn't work. Jimmy never works Thursdays.
Well, the thing is, remember, this is written, which means you turn it in, they read it, and they go, sir, Jimmy never works here on Thursdays, and then turn it back over to you, at which point you then have to answer that. But now instead of 10 minutes, you have 6, and then 4. And then eventually it's like, how do you know the killer? And you have 13 seconds to write something down.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like, I wasn't here. I was in the alley. These aren't the real hot dogs. You can check. They don't sell these
Right.
here.
So the other thing there is just that the fuck am I going to say? I'm trying to say a thing, and I've already. Oh, it's through those questions that you find out the information, right? Which is like,
right.
You know, how close were you when the gun went off, and like, you know, did you see anyone from the mayor's office here, etc. And that's how you get those leads. Now, we either escalate or destroy a lead. Draw a card. Look at the district that shares its.
Oh
suit.
man, are we gonna destroy the mayor right now?
No.
5 spades. Nope. We're going to escalate.
No, we just escalate the mainland.
The mainland. All right.
Oh my god.
That's
Can
quick.
a zone be de-escalated?
I believe so. I believe one of the options is to, yes, if you hit on a 1, which I guess requires you to roll a 1, use it,
and break your.
Yeah, and break your principle. That's really good, actually. So let's talk about escalated districts.
Wait,
And why they're...
couldn't you just attach a 2 to a 1?
No, because you get a hit. Your hit... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I just drew this 2 by mistake. Fuck. How do I get rid of cards? I don't know how. It's fine. It's fine. We just lost this 2. Maybe we'll use that for whatever the next thing is. That's what we'll do. No, because your hit is what determines what happens. In the same way that the negative thing it determines what the dice is determines. So a 2 hit heals a condition. Only a 1 hit de-escalates a place.
I understand. So the hit isn't the hit isn't just you beating the black die.
Right.
The hit is what your white die is.
Exactly. So there's a
That's
1,
what I
a
was
2,
not getting about the
a
whole
3, 4, 5, and a 6. There are 4 different outcomes. Like a 1 outcome, a 2 outcome, a 3, 4, or 5 outcome, and a 6 outcome for both hits and misses. I hadn't realized that the de-escalation thing literally requires you to betray a principle of your own, which is great. So Escalations represent a part of the city becoming unstable. It could be a riot, a military lockdown, a man-made disaster, a mass exodus, or whatever is appropriate for your city. Escalations make things harder for everybody. Each one adds a black die for every investigation roll.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Art.
So, what is this escalation? Also, if 3 districts ever get escalated, the investigation is over. And we jump to the epilogue. So,
Yeah.
so what happens? How did this escalate?
How did this cause the outskirts to? I have
Well,
no
like this death maybe caused it? Not you necessarily. How does the death
like
maybe
this
affect...
interrogation.
Yeah, not the results of this specific... I mean, who knows? Maybe you did something here that we don't know about yet, but... Anybody have ideas?
Man, because the outskirts, I feel like, is the hardest place to be escalated.
So, like, okay, so I'm trying to think about this in terms of the like a montage now happening. Mm-hmm. So a body of a radio DJ has been found in a fancy hot dog place. He's been shot. What is the response, either by the police or the mayor's office or the citizens in the suburbs that responds to this thing
Could I
happening?
propose a thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know how, Chris, you were saying that you don't sleep, and that's why you know Hector? It's like you listen to Hector every night. That's a lot of people. And a lot of them listen until they fall asleep. And they don't have his voice tonight. A huge percentage of the mainland, 30, 40%, don't sleep. They stop sleeping. And they kind of go into... what's that show about the rapture and people who are left behind?
The leftovers.
The leftovers. Go into the sort of like, you know, the not catatonic, but like very kind of, there's a word I'm looking for and I'm not finding it.
It's almost like they're in a fugue.
Yeah. And just thousands of people in the mainland, the people who come to come to the Bluff City downtown, to the boardwalk to deal cards, the ones who work in restaurants, the ones who do all that stuff, they don't come in. And maybe it's even more than there should be aren't coming in. Like, Hector did all right, but a lot of people are not coming in to work for days. For like days go by and it's like the only people who are showing up to work are people who either commute from further in or people who are already in Bluff City or in in the various the islands thereof and not the mainland. Or they come in, when they do come in, they come in really late, like later than is even socially appropriate, and they don't leave early. They like stick around and are just like dead on their feet. So we just get this like zombie class emerging. That is my proposal.
I'm up for that.
I'm not going to write zombie class, but
no. I wonder if it also is reflected in some sort of, and I wonder if this is a reflection of extravagance to an extent, some sort of public mourning.
Oh, sure.
Like you see when like Bowie died, of like a mural is quickly made, and candles are left, and people spend time there, listening when they can to old recordings.
Recordings, yeah. I've written down fugue parade, which just gestures at what we're talking about. I wouldn't even mind it if it was like, what if it's like a mark on a door or painting like his name on
what if it's like
something?
a tag that begins showing up?
Like what?
It's not like marking the door in the way that would evoke sort of plague symbolism is too much of an escalation, I think.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's like, it might be something that would be good in the third act of this game, but it feels like going a little too far too quickly. So I wonder what sort of it's the voice on the end of the telephone stopping.
Right.
And I think that that is going to have an effect, regardless of whether or not there's some sort of visual symbolism associated with it.
I just didn't know if you wanted a specific visual. Like, it sounded like you wanted like a mural or something like that.
I think, like a mural of his. Like a mural of.
What if it's that thing that's around my neighborhood that we always see whenever you visit? The,
like that chalk,
the infinity symbol plus the heart, which is like the cheesiest thing. I was just like, infinite love, man. And there's always just like, if you give love, you'll return it. But whatever that is, but for weird conspiracy guy, or maybe it is just infinite love. Like maybe Hector Who always signed off by saying, infinite love.
Infinite love. Good night. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good night. Good morning. Infinite love. I'm Hector Who. All right.
I can't believe I got interrogated by the police about a murder and never mentioned that the murder victim was my uncle.
I don't know how that happened, but you didn't, which is great.
Good work, everyone.
Good. Police are... No one said, what's your relation? Like...
Yeah, no one asked. I didn't offer it.
All right.
Of course I didn't kill that man. He's my... I mean, of course you wouldn't say that. Family are people who kill people.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Who's
But in
next?
restaurants?
With guns?
Does family kill family in restaurants? I don't think so.
Of course I didn't kill that man. He's my uncle is like the thing that like a police officer hears that and they're like, oh my God, a gift has been presented to me from the heavens.
Yeah, you say that and you don't even know what happens. You're just in jail when you're done saying it.
Okay. Who has a second scene? How do the rest of you get involved?
I think I would like to go and
Sure.
see the mayor's office.
How do you put... I mean, at this point, has Florence just by herself put this together that the mayor is involved?
I think that I wonder if there's been some coverage in the news.
My guess is that coverage did not say a secret document from the mayor's office was involved.
No. That is a good point.
Do you confer with Tyler Taylor in some way?
Well, because we're both private eyes.
You're both
aren't we?
private eyes, yeah. Is there a message
God.
board you're part of, or
There's a forum,
a group chat?
There's a forum. It's less the Discord group and more NeoGAF.
Oh no,
for private eyes.
oh buddy.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's it called?
Oh God, it's called Oh, I know what it's called. It's called Elementary.
Ooh.
And
I follow Elementary new threads on Twitter. It just I don't really visit the forums that much, but it's good to stay on top.
It's called Elementary, and it's full of shitheads. Florence doesn't spend a lot of time there, but when she does, she always manages to leave in a fight. Like a temporary ban or something. And I think that I heard about it. I don't know whether... Tyler, did I hear about it from you, or did I hear about it from someone else talking shit about you?
It's definitely the second one.
Okay, right. So some other private eye was like... He didn't mention that it was his uncle, which is a thing that I've written down.
Right.
They're like, there's something's going on with the mayor. There was a piece of paper linked to the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody steal this lead. This lead is mine.
I'm posting about it for some reason.
Well, I think it's because the forum is both massively underused and way more used than you'd think it would be.
Right.
At the same time. Everyone who's on it thinks that it's a bigger group than it is.
But also...
or rather thinks that it's a smaller group. Everyone on it thinks that they're just hanging out and chatting with like a very close group of people who they fight with all the time.
Right. But there's lots of lurkers.
There are lots and lots and lots of lurkers.
So do you get there? Are you there at like the break of dawn then to be the first of the private eyes here to bust this open?
Yeah, I am. Well, no, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that the I'm in the waiting room before people have arrived in the room that I'm supposed to be going into.
You're in City Hall, basically.
Mm-hmm. I'm sitting on a chair. The chair doesn't have any armrests.
What's City Hall look like, Keith, as someone who's the owner of buildings?
Since I own buildings and I own all the buildings, I think that that City Hall is like one of those types of buildings where like city halls kind of look the same wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that it's just surrounded by like the weirdness of the rest of Bluff City. It's maybe got like oh, you know what? I bet it's got a nice big green front lawn that's supposed to have like it has the pedestals for like ornaments and decorations and art that never went up.
Oh, that's good.
But it's you know, it's
Does it
got
have
the
plaques
dome
that
and the
still
rooster.
say like this monument was donated by so and so, but there's no monument there?
Yeah, they donated. Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm gonna donate this money for this monument, and so they put the pedestal up, and the money never came, and so they
Or they spent it on something else. They
pedestal.
spent it on parties instead of spending it on.
Oh yeah, they did. And there's definitely been a monument gala, but no one knows where that money's gone.
No.
Yeah, so there's like space for all this like ornamentation that never happened, and so you just have
Great.
like a very standard like marble floors, columns, dome with a weather vane. That's common, right? All
Yeah.
city halls
Totally.
have weather vanes, I think.
So I did just realize that we jumped right into that first scene without walking through like how to frame a scene, which we should do much better this time because I'll actually read those rules instead of skipping over them. Which is that you need to tell me how, or we have to tell each other how, where, what you've done, Jack, what and with who you are at the beginning of a scene. And that will help us kind of frame the activity. What was that
no.
noise?
I have spilled hot candle wax on me and my desk.
Oh no. Are you
That's
okay?
not good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm covered in wax though.
Covered.
It smells
Covered in
delicious.
wax.
It was like mulled cider.
Oh.
Oh, that took a turn. That took
delicious.
a positive turn. I thought you said it smells
a
like
really-
mold. And I was like, yeah.
It's
That's
the most
the worst.
aromatherapeutic thing I've ever spilled.
Great. So yeah, Jack, at the beginning of a scene, you describe, I'm just going to read again from this thing. Starting the scene. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with?
Okay, so I am at the mayor's office. I am here to I think that I have probably when you arrive in the reception room, there is a piece of paper that says like, "Are you here to see so and so?" Write down their name because of course there's less face-to-face communication, so they want to be prepped for this. Write down your name, write down who you are, write down which person you want to talk to, and write down roughly how long you're going to be talking to them for. And I think I've written down that I want to speak to like an aide, but I want to speak to the mayor.
Okay. So is the challenge for you this scene like working through the bureaucracy to actually get to the mayor?
I wonder if it's that, or if it's when I get to the mayor just stonewalling me completely.
That would be the investigation, right?
Oh, right, yeah, sure, yeah.
Or, I mean, it could be the other way around, in which case then the investigation would be what follows after that. But who are some other people who are here at the mayor's office? I'm looking at support for this because that's what our role is.
It's all over my new sweater.
Okay. That's not good. You just got that sweater.
Literally yesterday I got it.
You'll get it out.
Do you want to take a wax break?
hot water?
No, I'm already covered, so.
Who else would be at the mayor's office?
Like, who is the aide that Florence ends up speaking with?
I think they're like an intern. Do mayor's offices have interns?
This
They
one
do
can.
now? They do
Let
now.
me tell you, Mayor Fraser is all about introducing new ideas to Bluff City, and one of those new ideas is I need to have 3 interns.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's an accessibility thing. They're like recent
Yeah.
high school graduates that come over who are able to work.
Don't
the
need to
summer
go to
before
college.
then, yeah.
Got to go into service. Got to go into service for the community.
And it's also an
Also,
extravagance
political
thing.
interns are definitely a thing. I don't know if you guys were around for the 90s.
So who's the intern? Let's see. Any good intern names out there?
I've got a preppy intern name.
What's the preppy intern name?
Christian Walcott.
Oh my God, Christian
Wow.
Oh, I
Walcott.
hate that guy.
Definitely. Can you please be Christian Walcott in this scene?
I suppose.
That's Christian.
Yes, well, I was rather hoping that I would be able to speak to the mayor.
Listen, a lot of people hope a lot of things around here.
Does that mean that I'm not going to be able to speak to the mayor?
It means I'm a little busy. I spilled something on my sweater.
I've never seen method roleplay before, but here we are.
That looks uncomfortable.
You can talk to me, but I'm gonna be picking.
No, I don't want to talk
bits
to
of
you. I
wax.
want to talk to the.
I spilled the town seal. When we send out letters, I spilled it all over my sweater.
Sorry, how old are you?
17.
Right,
But an old soul.
But my father's rich and old.
What's your surname?
Walcott.
I think I know Pa Walcott.
Oh, Pa, that's my grandfather.
You could say I worked with him back in the day.
I mean, you could say that. I don't know.
Look, Christian, I'm going to make it very easy for you. I used to...
A lot of things are very easy for me.
Oh my fucking god. This fucking guy.
Oh,
I think I'm going to just walk behind the desk and start aiming for the mayor's office.
So you're just forcing your way?
Yeah, I think so.
I played rugby. I'm not afraid of standing in your way. Mind the ink and the wax.
and the wax.
mind the ink.
Listen, I said I'm busy with the wax. I said ink instead of wax.
That sounds like a body. It sounds like you're just forcing your way in.
Yeah, I'm prepared to do that.
What is your body score?
My body score is...
Regular.
0, empty,
0.
regular,
So that's
able.
That's just 1, I think,
One-
right?
one die.
I'm trying to remember if we're right on dice again. Let's double check. The investigation roll procedure. Here we go. Challenge rolls. Yeah. Supporters choose governing condition. People agree this is body.
God, there's just
Yeah,
dice
I
fucking
totally
everywhere at this
There
point.
are. Protagonist rolls 1 white die. Supporters roll a black die, adding any extra white or black from governing conditions. Does this...
we just roll one more, right?
Was that true, or is that only for investigations? I need to double check.
Oh, I think it might be just for investigations.
I hope so for the sake of the investigators.
No, I think that you're right.
Yeah, just investigation rolls. So yeah, 1 white and 1 black, I think.
Okay, right. So should we just move all these away?
Yeah, just pick the middle ones is what I kind of did there. I just
Okay,
wanna
right. So I got
get
this
rid of
one.
those. Yep, and this one.
All right, let's
2
roll
in the
this.
middle.
It's like a little dice arena that we've made for ourselves here.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Okay.
Oh, I think I rolled the wrong 2.
You did. You rolled the
Okay.
high 2. Someone needs to roll that low 2. So I can't click.
Okay,
Oh, am
I
in the
got it.
wrong-
I got it. There we go.
got it?
1.
All right, so 3 versus 1. That's just a success. That's a straight up success. Because it's 2 more. So what's
I
that
think-
look like? Because you get to narrate that, Jack.
So I think what happens is, as I go to move to the door, Christian says, I played rugby, and Florence just puts a hand on his shoulder and pushes him back down into his chair and opens the door.
Good. It just walks right in.
I don't have time for this. I'm busy.
And you walk right into the mayor's office. So you keep that white die. So let's leave that like here and get rid of this black one. Move those away.
I just have passed.
Yeah. The mayor is inside. He is practicing his putting, obviously. He's putting into a projector screen, which then generates a result, and it doesn't say like it doesn't show you what happens. It just generates a result, and he has like 30 golf balls lined up that he putts again and again. Like it's not a game. Do you know what I mean? Or it's not a visual game.
Yeah.
He putts it, and then it says, like, nice birdie. Or, like, you got it in the rough. And it also just gives you conditions over and over. Like, it'll be like, there's a slight incline, and there's just a voice in the background saying that while this whole conversation happens. There's various golf things. Art, if you want to be that golf voice, I'd really appreciate it.
I'm on it.
Mr. Mayor,
Do you know the mayor? Have you and the mayor ever interacted, Florence?
No. The mayor was the mayor. I was before the mayor's time, or the mayor was
Okay.
after my time.
Madam, how can I help you? Are you with the, you're a constituent? You're a
I'm a
constituent.
detective.
You're with the PD?
Formerly.
Had a falling out? Not a big fan of the cops?
I worked for them for the majority of my professional life, and then I decided
Well,
that
that's great.
time was
That's
come
fantastic. If you talk out to my assistant, Mr. Wolcott, he'll help you with anything you need.
to... I'm here to talk to you about Hector Who.
Who? That's the only time I'll do that joke. Because any more times is racist, says the mayor.
Please sit down. We have a lot to talk about.
Oh, well, hey.
Good par.
I do my best, machine, and then hits another one. Also,
Bogey.
good par is a good one. It's a little too congratulatory. I don't know what you're looking for here. You should just go down to the office, the police station, and let them know that you're interested. They'll update you to anything you need.
You're very confident.
I believe in my officers. They protect us. They serve us. They protect us and serve us.
Well,
That's their motto.
They protect us and serve us. Yes, I know it was on my
Nope,
badge
it's the
for a
whole
long
thing,
time.
actually. It's we protect you, we serve you, we protect you and serve you. Putt.
Water hazard.
Ah, damn. Can't believe they put a water hazard that close to the green.
Sir, I need you to focus.
It's a tricky course.
At the time of Hector Who's death in the Showdogs restaurant,
Oh, they didn't kill him in Showdogs.
this is the first you're hearing of this?
I didn't know it was in Showdogs.
Well, he was
Showdogs.
killed in Showdogs. He was carrying a document that the local police seemed to think that you'd be interested in.
Putt.
Birdie.
I have lots of interests. I have lots of aides. Maybe one of my aides was interested in the document that you're talking about. You talk to them, find out. Move on.
No,
with
my
your
contact
day.
specifically, sir, my contact specifically said the mayor.
Give me a thing. Like, what is this challenge? You just trying to talk them into it, huh?
Yeah, I think
This feels like heart to me.
yeah. I
You
think
just like
this is a
force of
hard
personality?
talk. I think at first it was force of body, and then
Yeah.
force of personality.
Other supporters agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So I get one because
you get 2 to start with.
and then I get one because my mind is good.
'Cause
My
your-
heart is good.
your heart
my
is
mind is
good.
bad.
Your mind is bad. Your heart is good.
Wow, same.
And then, and then the bargain dice come from the one that you kept. So put a bargain die over there, and then we get 3 negative investigation ones plus 1 because of the escalated district. Allie, do you want to roll these bad dice?
Sure. These 4 ones right here.
Yeah, the
I
4.
should roll these good
You
dice.
should roll the good ones, and then Keith, can you roll the bargain one over to the right?
Yeah, totally.
Hoo, 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 hoo.
All right, that ain't bad.
Oh, it is bad.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. All right, let's see. So the highest 3, which is what the black dice always put forward, it's 4, 6, 6.
So I can only beat one of them. Yes, I can beat the 4.
You could beat the 4, and then you're going to lose the other ones. Brutal. The bargain dice was a 1, which means there isn't like a bargain you can take here. That's better.
Yeah.
That's a good roll from the
wow.
mayor.
Although like the best I could have done was roll a 6, and then you still would have had to do some other shit.
True. You would have broken a principle here, and your
Yeah,
principle
you'd have broken
again.
a principle and still lost to a different 6.
My
Yeah.
principle is don't let them know who I really am.
Yeah, never reveal my true self, whatever that means. So let's go through the good one. What's the good one? A 5?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the table again. All right, so the good one is... Sorry, a mosquito just flew directly into my face. The good one is a 5, so I can add a random lead or connection with that, right?
Yeah. So that you draw, or you can connect. You can string together any 2 leads. So do you want to get a new lead, or do you want to connect anything? The thing to remember, two things to remember.
Oh, yeah.
One, I just remembered an important thing. Hector, who is a lead. So you could connect something there and get a three connection lead,
Which
and
would
then
let us, in theory, begin to answer a question.
yes, exactly. Or you could draw a new lead and add it to the table.
Okay. I'm going to... I'm going to add a new lead.
Okay. I don't know what to do with this one card still. We could flip this card over and see what it is, or we could draw a new one, Jack. It's up to you. The one that I pulled out by mistake before.
Let's draw a new one, because I think I remember what that one is.
All right, drawing it. Boom. 3 of diamonds.
All right, so a 3 of diamonds is a...
It is either... Do we have to decide if it's a... I guess we can pick from either identity, places, or things, right? If it's a person, it's an actor or performer. If it's a place, it's an office. And if it's a thing, it is a family heirloom.
So it's an office.
Okay.
And what happens is stuff is about to go badly wrong for Florence Slowly. We know that because of the rest of the dice. So I think that the mayor actually gives her his full attention. I think he puts down the golf club and he closes the program on the projection screen. And as he sits down for a second, what was on the screen before is visible.
Oh, that's good.
Which is an email to place to a office. And the name of the office is, and I'm just looking for a name here, it is called the Ollerenshaw Office of Requisitions.
Say that first one.
Ollerenshaw, O-L-L...
O-L-L...
E-R-E-N-S-H-A-W, Ollerenshaw.
S-H-A-W? Gotcha. Office. Of
and requisitions. And the mayor has sent an email to the Ollerenshaw Office of Requisitions that I don't see because the mayor looks at it and closes it very quickly and then turns and gives me his full attention.
Gotcha. And then bad things start happening.
Well, I can link that lead, right?
No.
Oh, no, I would link...
Right? Is that... Yeah. You either add a random lead or a new connection. Yes. So in fact, maybe you don't see that it's from the mayor's office. He has an email up, but you don't know for sure if it's from him or it's the one that he's looking at or to him. Yeah, exactly. One of his interns is sent and he's reviewing it. Who knows? Two bad things happen though.
Okay.
So we draw a card and either we're going to draw 2 cards, and if it is in a place where there is a lead, we destroy a lead, and if it is in a place with no undestroyed leads, you escalate the district. This one, I'm going to do the one that we already drew, so we can get rid of this. Flip card. 2 of diamonds, so we're going to destroy one of the upper crust, the shore leads. And then, what's the other one? We'll decide how to do that narratively. Ooh, the Ace of Spades comes out. Which means that we're going to... Oh, buddy, it's already escalated once. Does it double escalate?
Oh,
What
boy.
happens here?
I don't know. Let's find out from the rules.
It's like a double outbreak in pandemic.
It might be.
I'm
guess
guessing
it
it's
doesn't-
not just a freebie.
It might be a freebie.
It might be a freebie.
I'll take a freebie.
Here we go. During an investigation, a single district can be escalated multiple times, and each escalation adds another black die to an
Fucking
investigation rolls.
It's not a freebie. It's an expensive.
Well, it is, so at least it doesn't further,
Correct.
because like once it doesn't further us towards the epilogue though.
No, correct.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
but what does it... So, first of all, how does one of these get destroyed? How does one of these other leads get destroyed?
Do you narrate this or do I do?
One of us does. One of the supporters does. So how does one of the upper crust, the shore leads get destroyed for our parts? For our
Is there
purposes?
like an explanation of just what destroying a lead
totally.
means?
During an investigation roll, a miss on a 6 might destroy a lead. Destroyed places are burnt, collapsed, or otherwise ruined. Destroyed objects are lost or broken. Destroyed people are killed or otherwise rendered inert. Destroyed leads keep their connections but aren't counted towards the chain of 3 connected. Unused leads necessary to find an answer. Destroyed leads keep their connections but aren't counted toward the chain of 3 connected unused leads necessary to find an answer. A destroyed lead can still be part of a chain used to find an answer, but the chain would have to include 3 other undestroyed unused leads. If your character operates in the same district as a destroyed lead, you treat the lead as undestroyed. Your character knows how to make use of the fragments that remain. So maybe it's just, we just get, when he says, remember when he was like, oh, Showdogs, it was in Showdogs? And then just like smash cut, Showdogs on fire.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like that a lot.
And it burns down mysteriously.
Yeah. Boy, howdy.
Flip that card. Cool. How does it escalate in the mainland? Thoughts?
Ooh-wee. Okay.
Maybe the zombie class, sort like maybe they get worse in term like even less cooperation with their daily schedules.
The graffiti goes from infinity love to omega love.
Oh no, Omega Love.
You never go full Omega Love.
Omega
I'm
Love.
also adding omega love
Please,
to my
thank you.
name list.
Flip that to. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Flip it. Flip that card. Boop. And like, maybe it actually does gain a sort of class action vibe. Like, there are. Maybe part of this is like Hector had a revolutionary streak in him, and there's like one of the things he talked about was Omega Love, and sometimes you had to force people to go to Omega Love. He signed off Infinite Love, but Omega Love is when you try to change the world. When the world's okay, you can sign off Infinite Love, but right after the second Obama assassination, he started signing off Omega Love for a year until finally, thankfully, the righteous agents got the impersonator and replaced him with the first impersonator, who's like a decent person. Very complicated.
Oh, man.
So the original Obama was assassinated and
Correct.
replaced with an okay replacement.
Okay
He was
replacement.
Then replaced with a really
Much worse
bad
replacement.
You don't want to. It was a crab man, so
Right.
You don't
And
want
so
to.
it's like, oh man, I wish for the days when, our worst problem was just that we had an okay Obama replacement
Right.
in office and not this horrible Obama replacement.
Exactly. And then they got it, and he stopped signing off Omega Love and started signing off Infinite Love again.
And these things are like definitely linked in that like probably once news gets out that Showdogs is burned down,
Yep. People know.
a bunch of people are like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's what happened apparently.
Well, you know why they got Showdogs, right?
Why?
Come on. They didn't want us to know about Showdogs.
They didn't want us to know what was happening at Showdogs.
Yeah. they
The
didn't
real
want
gala,
us
the
to know.
secret gala.
Yeah, but I want to
Oh.
right now say that I am not going for that whole pizza thing. This is not a reference to that and should not be taken as that.
Good. All right. New scene.
Wait, no, doesn't a second bad thing happen? Or
No,
it's
the second
just
bad thing
two-
was the destruction
just
of... It's the destruction of the Showdogs, and then it's the Omega Love. It's the escalation to where this is taking on a sort of revolutionary character, to where people are people start going into work and sabotaging work, and leaving behind the
dope.
Omega Love symbol,
Yeah, I'm up for that.
which is an Omega with a heart in the middle, or a heart with an Omega in the middle. It's the second one. That's better.
Is it an upside down heart with the Omega things? It almost looks like an ace of spades.
Yeah. Yes. Like, yeah, that works, especially since it was literally the Ace of Spades that we drew.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like me coming up with something or that I've just been looking at card suits for 2 hours.
Yep. Could be. All right, Patty or Chris?
Hmm.
You got something?
I don't know. I'm like, the outskirts is my beat,
Yeah, and things are going wild here.
and things are getting kind of wild. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a scene.
It's a who, a what, and a where.
Yeah.
Has she checked in with the radio station at all?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that would be the thing. Do we know, should we say where the radio station is?
I think it's on the mainland. Like, he worked on the mainland, so... or I guess he worked in the Cove, actually, now that I think about it, right? I think maybe he worked in the Cove, but do you know what I mean? The radio station. No, we drew the Cove. He's in the Cove, so he's in like the kind of Skid Row, the kind of low income housing and local, like actual local real people who live in Bluff City and who have to deal with all of this expansion and who have not been treated well by the government. But there's like an old rundown radio station that is WBRK, The Break, and people like, again, the break is the break. You don't fuck with the break. So it's just I don't know. I guess Keith, what's the Break's HQ look like?
Oh, I think that the Breaks HQ is like, it's two sort of small office buildings that have sort of been like remodeled to look like one building.
That's good. I like that a lot. Cool. So so that's the where. Are you alone or are you with somebody, Chris?
I think that I'm alone unless anyone wants to tag along. This seems like sort of a personal thing. Like,
yeah,
I have to go get to the bottom of the show that I really like.
Right.
It's kind of like a thing you don't call up your PI that you know for. She probably doesn't know anyone. I think that, So I think that she probably goes, like, really late at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe like an hour before his show would usually be on. Just to kind of check the doors and stuff to make sure that this isn't like a cover up, that he's really alive and he isn't like, being snuck in and out of the building.
Oh, that's good. That's the thing. You're a real one. Like, that's exactly what he would say. You didn't see the body? Shit.
Yeah,
even if you did see the body.
I've listened to the show for a really long time. I know how these work.
Yeah. Is there somebody there who is like, or maybe you just get in? It's a late night shift, so maybe there's like security is there, but with him gone, are they just? You're in charge of communication in a way, right? So like, are they just running, like repeats or like something like that? Or is there another DJ there? Art seems to have a DJ person name.
Yeah, I
do.
I don't know if it would be. It probably feels really disrespectful that they're like, "Oh, our new show, 2 a.m. with this other guy."
Right.
But like, I feel like that's the more honest thing to Bluff City, where they would want to cover up really quickly rather than like pay respects to this host.
Right. All right, Art. Who is your radio person?
Gabby Gabs.
Love Gabby Gabs. Is Gabby just there, like finishing her shift, and is like runs into Chris?
I think it would be right before she starts it, right? Like this is.
Oh, so she's taking over this this slot. Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is an hour before he would usually come on. So she's like there to sort of like corner her and ask about like the terms of her like employment, or like not that specific, but like how'd you get this job? How'd they figure out that you were going to be the guy to replace him?
Right.
Like right before this is her first big show.
I bet they just let you in, right? Like you're a known fan. Like you're not trying to get in. It's not a hard thing to sneak to. You're not even sneaking past. You show up at reception, and the receptionist says like, "Oh, Chris. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know you were Chris. Oh." Christine, Chris, you should go to his office. Like that, Gabby's in there now, obviously, but I'm sure she'd love to say hello and let you see where he made his magic, where he made the magic happen.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, for sure.
Chris? Are you doing okay?
Yep. Every day, infinite love. Gotta keep it going.
You know what? Omega love. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that Omega love. Do you like this? This is my radio voice. I thought maybe one day I'd be able to go on. He was such a big inspiration to all of us. So.
Yeah, very smooth. Very no bumps or ridges there. I like it.
That's me, Jackson. Jackson Malone. That's my radio name. It's not my real name. My real name isn't as good.
Jackson is a little tough.
Jackson.
There's some rough edges there.
I'll just smooth them out.
Yeah.
Jackson.
You're
Put a curve in the CK. Jackson.
Yeah, that's
Malone.
I'm not one of the people who make the the decisions. I just listen. I can't really say for myself, but I would listen.
Some
to your
people would
show.
pronounce it Jason, but I don't. I curve it. I don't make it smooth.
You gotta stand out.
Dragon. Dragon Malone.
Oh.
He licks his lips.
Oh, wait, but the dragon.
They call me the big dragon. Dragon Malone.
Might want to get our dragons. You heard about the dragons that work in recycling, right? You
What?
heard that episode?
Dragon
You heard that
recycling.
whole episode about how they're recycling?
Oh, they eat it up. They eat up the recycling. That's right. Yeah.
They're supposed to recycle
And I'm gonna-
cans,
but
and
they don't.
They get eaten up, and then now they don't have any of the metal to make more cans. It's like a real
It's
big
the same
problem.
cans. They're using the same cans over and over again. That's what Hector told me.
Right, exactly. Do you know how much gas it takes to make a can? That's why you have to recycle
And you know
them.
where they get the gas from? From the candy corn. So
It's wild. It's wild. It's wild stuff. I'm
I
gonna
don't
miss
know
it.
what we're gonna
How
do.
am I not gonna know these things anymore?
who's gonna tell it? I am. Dragon Malone.
By all means, I support you.
Anyway, I think Gabby's ready. I think Art's back from going to the bathroom or whatever. So you can go in the back now and talk to Gabby. I'll see. I'm really good at filling. I got a note from Gabby that said, "Hey, could you fill for a little bit?" And I said, "I got you." Rawr.
I had to coax the dog back into the house.
Okay. Shout out to Keith for reminding me of the way you soften a C sound is so it could be Jason in the chat. I would not have gotten to Dragon without Jason. So,
Thank you.
all right.
Dragon was funny.
Dragon's good.
I almost choked on my tea that I was drinking. I wrote in the chat, I'm still at max 1 spill per sesh. So
Good. All right. So you go back to talk to Gabby. What's that like? What's the room like? Like this is Hector's office that Gabby's since moved into. So I bet most of Hector's stuff is still in there.
Yeah, I bet it does. It's like full of his ephemera, right? Which is probably some like radio stuff, like here's your listener's choice award, but like it's also probably some like here's the newspaper that shows the Obama imposter number 2 with like the circle and the line pointed to the other one, like look, he's got a different jawbone.
There's a couple other things in here. There's a full standing like suit of knight armor in here, like medieval knight armor. There is a wall that is just horseshoe crabs. There's like 8 of them on the wall. There is a corkboard with like strings and stuff all over the place, but there's not stuff up. It's just strings. Like there's like strings onto push pins, onto thumbtacks, but there's no pictures, there's no newspaper clippings, there's no names, but there are. It's very clearly is connecting something. So those are 3 things in here.
Does it look like anything's been torn down? Like there was supposed to be something there?
I don't know. Is that what's happening here? So like let's get a little bit of Gabby and you. Is the notion here that like you're talking to Gabby while scanning the place to look for things?
Yeah, for sure.
What's Gabby like, Art?
Gabby's just really excited to have this opportunity.
Wait, question,
Gabby's
was that in
been-
character?
been-
Does Gabby say Gabby's just really excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like starting that sentence as if I was like gonna struggle to find her, and then she was just right there. Gabby's been working really hard at this station. I interned here out of Rutgers. They didn't really have a spot for me, so I did like some producing, and then I was in Trenton for a little bit, working out of there, and they got some weird stuff up in Trenton. You wouldn't believe it. And then
Yeah, what's going on in Trenton?
I came back here, and I've been filling in on drive time when they need, afternoon drive time. Of course, Hector. Oh, I loved Hector. Hector did our morning drive. And yeah, this is just such an exciting opportunity. I really want to get to know the community a little more, play some good records. I really want to get back to some music.
Music. You think that's what the city needs is music?
Everyone needs music.
There's enough music in Bluff City. When did you said you've been interning here for a bit? When did they
I interned here back when I was in school. I'm not. That was probably 7 years ago. And yeah, I tried to get a job and they didn't have it. I was in Trenton didn't I just say, who are you again?
All right. Go ahead.
I'm Chris Andrews. I don't know if I'm not like a big deal, but if you listen to Hector, you might have.
I can't believe you made
Hector
a big
does
name
the
fan.
overnight, and I mean, it's really hard for me to. It's really hard for Gabby to adjust her schedule to doing the overnight because, like I said, I was available as a fill-in for drive time, so I was kind of living a normal schedule, and now I have to start at 2:30 and stop at 10, and it's really been a challenging adjustment. So no, I wasn't a big Gabby wasn't a big listener to Hector, so Gabby doesn't know who you are.
Right. I see. A normal schedule, whatever that is.
So judgy. So is this a challenge to like see if you're able to be sharp enough to like find junk in the environment, or are you trying to like what is Chris's goal here? Is it to like be there when Gabby leaves? Is it to get details during this little interaction?
Yeah, I think I initially went into the scene trying to ask more about like if they had been trying to put her in his seat before he died.
I see.
But I think that maybe now that I'm in the room and I see that it maybe looks like it's been tampered, that's maybe more focused.
Yeah.
But it's either one. I don't know.
That seems like mind to be paying attention in that way, right? While like keeping up a conversation.
Yeah.
Does that add up for people?
Sure.
All right. So again, I think it's one white and then one black. You don't have a higher mind, right?
I have a low.
Oh, in fact, you have a lower mind, so that means black gets an extra one. Boy. Good and great.
Whoops.
All right.
I just roll this.
You just roll that white one.
Okay. It's a 2.
Oh, it's a tie. Tie goes to the defense unless someone has a bargain, right?
You have to win by 2, so anything less than a 4 was a...
Oh, you're right. Anything less than a 4 would be a stalemate, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could take the stalemate, which means that there'd be an extra black die during the investigation, or you can someone can suggest a thing to harm one of your stats in a bargain.
It's hard to think of like what the negative outcome for trying to notice something.
Oh, I think it's rep. I think it's that you get to stay. Or I think it's like you walk out and you walk her out, and then you go back in, but you get caught like poking around. And so your rep goes lower because it goes down to suspected. Because like, what are you doing in there? So your investigation then just becomes you looking around in this room while no one is there.
Right.
That's my proposal. Happy to I'm genuinely happy to hear other proposals.
I think the idea of being caught in the room of the conspiracy theorist radio station person is very much in character for Chris.
And what if it's not being caught by like it might not even be caught by the radio station. It could be like, why are you in this like it could be a police officer shows up like you're going through this dead guy's office.
Right. Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think? You accept the bargain?
So there's 2 bargains, which is like either an employee or a police officer.
Well, no matter either of those would be rep,
okay.
right?
Okay, yeah. I think the bargain is probably more interesting.
All right. So take that white die, or like leave it out, I guess, because that'll go into
That's me.
the investigation, and then I think we'd probably just jump right into the investigation roll, right? Like you do that thing where like
poking around the...
Yeah. You do the fake goodbye, sneak back in, and then start seeing what you can find.
Yeah, for sure. I still just have this one die.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because it's mind again. Unless you're like, what's it look like? Like, what do you do to look around this place?
I think that it's tough, right? Because I think that it's like appreciating the things that are there. Because she was like legitimately a fan.
Okay.
And I think that like a familiarity with the stuff that's there like lets her know what to look at. Because it's like,
like that.
It's like she could find this like outcropping that's like this news report on like a weird fish that was at a restaurant or whatever, and instead of being like, oh, were they serving this at Showdogs, she could be like, oh, I remember that episode. So
This almost sounds like Heart then.
It does sound like Heart,
Yeah.
which is 0. So that means there is not a black die added to the negative side.
I
There are
appreciate
2
that.
added because of the double escalated outskirts though.
Jesus Christ.
So that's
I'm glad that this
Oh my
this
God.
episode is just going to end with the city burning to the ground.
and that was the end of Bluff City.
Thanks for supporting us, everyone.
Well, luckily
All right.
this episode takes place in the future. So
And there is a bargain die. Yes, thankfully. Right, so we can fuck around with that bargain die at least. Someone want to roll that bargain die?
sure, I'll do it.
I'm gonna roll all these black die all at once.
4, not bad, not great, not
That
bad.
ain't bad.
Not bad.
All right, that's my roll. 6 and a 3.
Okay, 6 isn't bad either. Multi-sided, random side. We
But you
got
have a 5 out of
4,
6 chance of rolling a 6 on
2,
the
a 4.
black.
Hey, this isn't. Listen, 4, 4, 2 is not bad.
Oh, this is not that bad. Oh, I didn't realize you had already
Wowee.
rolled those.
In fact,
look at
you
that.
got a 6. You can get an answer.
Holy
All right, so you
moly.
got a 6 and a 3. So
Hotdog.
how are you pairing these off? Let's see what the options are. Again, the outcome reference is over in the other spot. I'm going to put these in better order.
Yeah, I've super non-internalized this, which is why.
2, 4, and a 4. So, if the 2 succeeds, you will pin yourself and damage your reputation. You will become one of the leads, which means that if you get destroyed, your character dies, as if you died, and you will damage your reputation. So if the 2 succeeds. If the 4 succeeds, you will damage a condition governing this investigation roll, which was heart. So your heart. If the 4s, one of these 4s is going to succeed, right?
Right.
So, did we roll the bargain die? Yes,
I did, yeah.
So we could offer the bargain die as a 4, but that wouldn't.
No, yeah, you could just do the 6 to the 4 and the 3 to the 2, and then you just take
Right.
the hit on the 4.
And the other 4.
Yeah. And there's
You could
nothing the bargain die could do.
you could accept the 2, but the 2 seems rough. You could take the bargain die from a bargain that we come up with.
What's the miss on
and
the
then
4 do again? It damages.
It damages a
something?
condition, but so you could theoretically, there was like a weird, interesting die game in this. You could take the bargain die 4, break a principle, and break a tie with one of these 4s.
What's your principle?
Never betray my own,
Oh,
which could be interesting in this
there's
moment.
some really sad stuff here.
Yeah, there would be.
Oh boy.
On your side, you have a 6 and a 3, which means you can, with the 3, you will add a random lead or connection. Which once you add a connection, there are ways in which you could connect this together in a way that would give you enough to then score an answer. Because with the 6, you can either add your own custom lead from scratch, or if you have 3 connected things, find an answer. Which
Which
the
we do
three,
Do
not.
we have 3
We
connected
do not have
things?
3 connected things.
you will with the 3. The 3 is going to get you a 3rd connection.
Right.
The 3rd, because remember, Hector is also, so you could go Ollie Frazier to the official document, to the Office of Requisitions, or to the gun, not to Showdogs.
Oh, so it has to be like I wouldn't be able to make a thing
Or to Hector.
that becomes 3,
No.
and then
No.
okay, because that would be okay.
Wait, no, it still isn't because the new lead isn't. Oh,
You can connect. You can connect. You can use a 3 to connect.
Okay, got
Yes. A 3 to a 5 on a success either adds a new random lead or strings a connection between any 2 leads.
Yeah. So we would do take care of the 3 and then use the 6 to make the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know, this is a weird game.
We all get it. We all get it exactly the same amount.
Okay.
I think it's cool that this is how this works. We're still
Yeah.
early on in this game. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
So in terms of am I also litigating which damage I take here, or should I just be focusing
No,
on
we'll decide that.
Oh,
So you
okay,
do the white ones first, and then we'll do the black ones.
Okay, so I use the 3 to add a thing. And
You
then
use
use the
so
6
you
to make it
assign
connect.
You
the
draw
dice
a
against
card.
things. So you go 3 to the 2, and then the 6 to a 4.
Okay.
Right? And then with the 3, you can either draw a new lead and add it to the table, or connect a set lead already. Do you see there's a thing called outcome reference in the drawer?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at. So the 3, you're adding a random lead or making a connection. And with a 6, you're either finding an answer, which you can do if there is a chain of 3 undestroyed leads connected on the board, or you can create a new lead that you want to from scratch. So like you could say, well, there's a new lead in the outskirts just to add a lead to the outskirts if you wanted, for instance. But,
or you could connect something to official document, cause of death, or the mayor.
Yeah.
Right. You could add a new thing that connects, right.
Right. Like official document and the mayor and Euler and Shaw were connected, then that would be able to be an answer for the 6.
Totally. So maybe that's the thing you do. Maybe you connect to
Yeah.
one of those 2 and then do an answer with whatever that is.
Yeah, that was my plan. I don't know which is more interesting here. If I like find what that document is, or like something leading to it, or if I find some like information on the mayor.
Right. You go either way.
Yeah. I'm also open to suggestions.
If you connect it to the Ulrich Shaw, I will pull my GM card and tell you what it is, because it connects to a larger Bluff City thing.
Oh, okay.
If you
But
connect
then
it
we
to just...
won't get 3.
No, you will.
No,
that'll be
that'll
3.
be 3.
Because it'll be official document to
Yeah.
Ulrich Shaw, and it'll be official document to mayor, and that's 3 things connected.
Oh, okay. So I'm just.
They don't
making
need to
the
be a
connection,
triangle.
not-
They just need 3 connected, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that those were okay.
Or you could connect it to Hector, or you could connect it to the gun. Like maybe there's an official document that is the gun registration, and it's in the mayor's name, or,
Wait,
it's up to
is
you.
Hector not... Is that still valid as a lead? I
Yes,
thought we
Hector
X'd
is
it
a
out.
lead. Hector.
I knew it was a
Hector
lead,
is
but I thought it got destroyed because it has an X over it.
No, that's from the beginning of the game. You X out
Okay.
the victim at the middle.
Oh, okay. That's just for show. Got it.
Hector's dead.
Hector's
That's
dead.
that is-
that
yes,
means he's
exactly.
dead.
Then yeah, I can do it that way.
Okay. So this is the one time that I have a thing that is like, I think you find a copy of this document. We get another picture of, what we get a picture of is that same email that we saw on the mayor's projector. And then we see there's an attachment. And the attachment is the same thing that was in that document, that was in that file. And I think we even get like a note from Hector that places it in, that says like, I'm bringing the document. I'll meet you at Showdog, and I'm going to give it to you. And like, this is it. And it's like or it's in like his most recently printed thing, or you open up his PDF, you open up Adobe Acrobat and hit recent, and this is there.
Oh.
It is a highly redacted file. It is a document that has it's like it's a scan of something from what looks like a dozen years ago. It has like very light text on it, like it's been printed through. Actually, it looks like it was printed by one of those old printers, like one of the old dot matrix printers, and it's been faded and then redacted. So there's lots of big censored like black things, and then you catch a few words here or there. You catch words like squire and knight. There's a word that says, there's a bit where it says like the investigation of the concern with a capital C, like the concern, is ongoing, or by the concern is ongoing. We are sending an agent we're sending green level agents as soon as possible. You see a thing that says that something about the Institute, something about crab men. Classic Hector Who shit. Mm-hmm. And then you see what you think is a typo at first, and then you're pretty sure it isn't, because it keeps happening. And it is another way to write Bluff City. It says BLOUGH City over and over again. And deeper into the document, what you see is that somehow Hector has been to a place called Bluff City. That's a different city. Deep in the document, there is a description of it. He talks about having, like, eventually deep into this document is an interrogation of Hector from a dozen years ago. And it talks about a bright blue jitney that he woke up on, as if in a dream. He talks about how the ocean was orange and how the city was different. It didn't have any connection to the outside world. Everything there was like reflecting in on itself. Like there were local bands, but no bands from overseas. There were movies, but only independent movies filmed in Bluff City. Or he writes sometimes Blue City instead, as if you would pronounce this blue, like through, like THROUGH. And after this whole interrogation transcript with him about this place, at the end, actually, at the very end, he talks about the crabmen. He talks about how the crabmen came for him, and that was when he slipped away. And afterwards, like in the email that he's written to this person, he says, like, I don't remember any of this. And it's a voice of his. It's that moment where you realize, like, he's writing in his real voice, and it's just, like, dialed down just a little bit, and is scared. And I don't think that Hector is concerned often on the radio. He has worries. He has, he's interested in helping people, but he's not scared for himself ever. But in this letter, there is something that makes him seem truly afraid. And you have a copy of it. And it is like he's gotten it from the mayor's department, or I think maybe he found it somehow. He took it from the mayor's department, and he knows he's not supposed to, so he's printed it out and was going to give it to an unknown contact. The unknown contact's name is Page, Page.
So this is the document from Olorenshaw, or
it's from Olorenshaw, like originally, but it was that he got it via the mayor's department. Basically, he stole it from the mayor's department, which had access for some reason. Maybe it was from that email you saw, right? Like he hacked into the mayor's department to get this, or like somehow gave it away.
Huh.
And that's why he was killed, was because he got this document.
Ooh-wee, okay.
So he got one answer. A strange thing pointing to a place named Blue City.
Oof.
Yeah. We have one more turn for our first turn, and then we can wrap. We have an answer, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a big answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an answer that is we got some bullshit coming. Keep your subscription updated, people.
Patty. Also, just like, what's this look like? Like, what's Chris's response? Chris, is this just like, yeah, of course the crab people. Of course a place called Blue City, but blue is spelled, or Bluff City, but spelled blue, but like...
Yeah, I think that it's, like, shocking, because it's, whatever, but it's also, like, it's not surprising so much as it is, like, upsetting, right?
Right. Oh, shit, what was that last?
It's a little bit of, like, thinking head GIF, right? Like...
Yes. And then a black thing happens, right? A bad thing does happen also. I've almost forgotten. Whoops.
Oh, yeah, good thing.
There was a black 4. So damage a condition. Damage your condition governing this investigation roll. So yeah, it sounds like it was heavy. Your heart goes down by 1.
Yeah.
So from quiet to whatever's under quiet.
Do I just delete this and change it, or can you...
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I have now taken that black die, and, like, when I roll that...
Say that again?
So, like, because it's... I drop down, so I have 1 black die in that?
Yes, you have 1 black die. Exactly.
So when I roll hard, Okay.
When you roll heart, you're going to add 1 black die to the pool, basically.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Instead of adding nothing to. Yep, you got it.
Trying to think of the
You got your head around it.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's not like most things, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what it's a little bit like is Tech Noir, actually, where you would get a pool of dice, and then what you were trying to do was get a high dice inside of a pool. It's just that the pool is built in an interesting, different way.
Right.
Patty Fink, you're from out of town, but you're downtown. What are you doing? You're a snitch, I remember.
Downtown. I'm a sort of low tier criminal snitch that is also a conspiracy theorist. That was one of Hector's sources.
Gotcha. Okay. So what are you up to?
I'm poking around.
Who, what, and where?
Man, that's a tough question for me. I've been sort of trying to figure out what my thing was going to be for a while. And I'm sort of grappling with like what I found out on my own and how I can sort of connect that to what we've been doing.
Right. Is there just a world here where you've brought together the detectives? Like, have you worked with these other detectives before as a snitch?
I think
As a source?
At least I know them, right? Like I
Right.
definitely I think Patty is one of those people. She knows a lot of people.
Right.
And a lot of people know her. But I don't think that she's got like a pool of friends or allies.
No. Is this a situation where she's like, I have all of this like information in the bulk sense? Like, I have all of these files, and maybe like brings people over to work through it with her?
Yeah, I think that that's possible.
I'm trying to get people on screen together is what I'm
It's
trying
tough.
to do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that's also fun. I bet because I think that like Patty doesn't deal information as much as she deals in dirt, right? Like
Right.
So like
Right.
the cost of doing business with Patty is that like some of your shit is gonna show up somewhere, and it's
Right.
like it can be a huge help for you now, but later on, somewhat like. And nothing. It's not like major stuff, but like it's embarrassing stuff or slightly compromising stuff, and it's just like, well, you deal with Patty. That's what you get.
Right.
So having everybody in the room together, especially if we had like Taylor and Florence, and it's like, I know dirt on them, they know dirt on each other because of me, and they know that I have more dirt on each of them.
Yeah. Maybe, can I propose a scene? Which
Yeah,
will get
sure.
all four of you together, which would be good for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
Chris, would you share what you found? Or not that you found, would you share that you found something and want to talk to other serious fans of Hector?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
a sort of like, but we don't see that scene from Chris's perspective. We see it from Patty's as like the person who wants to show up and get dirt on people. And like, yeah, I know some stuff. Like, I'll bring over my files, but like, and then no other fans show up. It's Patty, Tyler, and Florence that all show up because there's no one else who's as serious as you are. Also, because like the fandom has now turned on into this Omega Love thing, right? Like the fandom has moved off of Hector and onto like, fuck these parties, burn it all down.
Right, yeah.
Like,
It's
unless
like
you have something on that.
I posted it on the same forum that like Florence uses to
Right.
connect to other PIs, but it's like a different like category in this forum.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy category instead of the like the actual reporting category. Yeah. It's great. So it's still
Well, I
elementary.
mean, Hector was my uncle.
right,
so-
true. Yes. So
Oh yeah, so you see that I have something, and then you're like, oh, I loved him. Like, I might as well look into.
I forgot. I loved him. Right. Family.
Look, grief takes people in different ways.
It's true. It takes some time.
I mean, it takes a lot of mental energy to be pulling weird scams that make you look slightly richer than you are.
It's
It's a lot because sometimes
is
you forget that you have like a family and loved ones when you're spending all your time buying cheap stuff and dressing it up like fancy stuff.
Hey, they want to hire a PI who looks like them. I'm a symptom. I'm not the disease.
I didn't say nothing. But yeah, I'm all for that scene. That sounds good to me.
What's it look like? How's this start? Patty.
I want to meet. We got to meet at a neutral place. We got to meet
Oh,
someone.
so it's not over at Chris's house. Where's the neutral place? Tell me what it looks like.
I think the neutral place is actually not a neutral place. It's a coffee shop where I've paid off. I've paid off a couple people to sort of keep ears out on conversations that I'm like I'll go to the bathroom and see what people are saying while I'm in the bathroom. But I've paid off some people to look like just regulars. And that's my neutral
What
place.
line of work are you in?
I'm a snitch and a low-level criminal. I do things. I just like sort of slightly blackmail everybody and sell like fireworks to kids.
It's a
That's
living.
kind of my and I'm a conspiracy theorist that I sell information to Hector and people like Hector.
This is how you're introducing yourself?
Oh no, I thought Art was asking out of
No, that was
Okay.
yeah, that was.
How do you
yeah.
like? Let's just go in. How do you introduce yourself?
I think to Chris specifically, I think I know Chris. I think I'm an actual avid listener of Hector's. So I think I know Chris, and I'm I introduce myself as one of Hector's sources. I'm one of Hector's sources.
Right, yeah, I think I would know from, like...
I'm a main source.
I don't think that Hector, like... like, says your name on air, obviously, but, like...
No.
he
He's
speaks
forbidden.
Is there a
by
code
source.
name for Patty? Like where Hector would be like, "Oh, I talked to the Fink," but like not the Fink because that's the last name.
Honestly, I think that the code name is Patty's actual last name, which is Finkel, and so no one has ever even heard Finkel before.
Okay.
And they don't put two and two together.
No, not at all. It's impossible.
No, it's yeah.
Okay.
I think
Well,
that...
it's hard if he's not saying Patricia Finkel, just Finkel. Who knows who that is?
Yeah, who could crack that code?
It's too obvious, Art.
In this room of two detectives, a conspiracy theorist listener.
You would need some sort of list of names.
No, I'm saying he's not
What
saying
kind of
Patricia.
magic
He's just
is that?
saying Finkel. Listen, this is a city. There more than the person that goes by Fink can be called Finkel.
Yeah, also it's Finkel with a PH, so nobody gets it.
Yeah. And he really leans into the PH.
I think that Chris shows up to
P-Hinkle.
the meeting or whatever with, like, a condolences greeting card. That's like that she gives to Patty, and just like, that's a genuine, like, I hope that you're having a I know you're having a rough time, but I hope that it's okay, and like whatever else.
Hey, my uncle
I-
died.
I don't know who you are. I don't know you. I'm sorry.
I
came here to
open
talk
it up
to
and
this
I
lady.
sort of wave something over for it, and I'm like, it's clear, okay. And I sort of read it, and I'm like, that's very sweet.
Okay.
And I want to make sure it's not bugged. This is a neutral ground. It stays a neutral ground.
True. I understand. I mean, I check every card that I get too, but I just thought, because of,
A fellow traveler.
right. So you've checked that this place is neutral, because this is kind of a big thing, and
Yeah.
it's a coffee shop, and like,
Yeah,
people always
rest assured.
people listen to things that are talked about in coffee shops,
No,
and
this is absolutely a neutral place. We're just four people drinking a coffee.
okay.
We're just four people splitting a coffee.
Yeah, I think we would be way less conspicuous if we had 4 drinks on the table.
Do you want me to go get 3 more drinks real quick? I'll go. You know what? I'm gonna pick up 3 more drinks real quick.
I would love
What are
that.
the-
Can
what
I
are
get,
the
like,
drinks?
A lot of
chai?
coffee shops have table service. I just don't know how you pick this place. I don't know what
A
makes
lot
it
of
special for
table
you.
service. What sort of fancy schmancy? What is this, a show coffee? Is that where you're going?
What have you brought us?
What have you brought us?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about drinks. I really want that chai latte, but I went to his office, to, kind of scope things out. None of this makes sense. It doesn't smell right. And, he always said, trust your nose.
I taught him that.
Really? Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk later. There was this document here that it's big. It's really big. It's like really big. And I think that she has it printed.
Is it? It's large.
It is a large document, and a lot of it is missing. And I think that she... I was wondering if there was maybe like a more like interesting Fartech thing than just having a printout, but that's probably more... Maybe it's like a... God, okay, no. You know what it is? Is that she's sorry. You know how like Snapchat works?
Yeah.
Where like you send someone a picture and then like it expires.
Yeah.
I think that she specifically wanted to set this meeting up so she could share it with people, but didn't want it to be like, she wanted to be the only one who had it.
I see.
So I
So
think
does
that,
she like send them like a degrading digital copy that they can look at?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that expires in like...
But also not online. Like it's like close. It's like near field communication. Like you tap your various devices together.
Right, yeah, it's like Apple Drop or whatever that is, but like where you can like take it away.
Yeah.
It's like on a timer or
Airdrop,
whatever.
but worse.
Yes. So I think that she does that and kind of sends it to everybody, and like it, takes a little bit with Fink because she has like an Android device, but they figure it out.
So I'm gonna do a thing we haven't done yet, which is does everyone start pouring over this thing? I guess is my question.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a thing that we haven't done yet, which is I'm gonna introduce some. I forget how do they phrase it? Do you remember? It's like introduce drama.
like a dramatic turn
hit.
or something.
Yeah, something
dramatic
like that.
hit.
It's
Yeah.
dramatic
Well, so the
hit.
thing is, I drew this, which is a Joker, and there are not rules for drawing Jokers. So what I'm gonna do is draw 2 more cards, and both of these things happen.
It's the adversary.
It is, and 2 things have been stolen. 4 and a 4. Something has been stolen twice. That's really good.
Is it the same thing has been stolen and then stolen again, or is it 2 separate things have been
I don't
stolen?
know, but like, so what goes? How do we get 2 things stolen? Is there something missing from this document?
There's
like,
a page
immediately?
missing. Yeah, there's a page missing.
And what's the second thing?
Oh, I know the second thing is or potentially that someone has stolen the whole of the document via the near-field communication and has made it permanent.
Like another copy gets made.
Another copy, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That's good. So like what we get is like one of you going like, "Hey, where's page 212?" And then a second later it goes like "Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da," to tell Chris that someone else has downloaded the document.
Thank goodness for push notifications.
Patty, this is your scene. How do you deal with these problems? Which problem do you deal with even?
This coffee shop's on lockdown.
What's that? What?
This coffee shop's on lockdown.
You just get up and say that?
I just get up and say that. This coffee shop's on lockdown. The 3 people closest to us get up and bar the doors.
Okay. How many people are in this room totally, or in this coffee shop total?
Not including the including or not including employees.
Not including employees who you've paid off to make this your private den of
3.
fucking iniquity? All right. There are 3 people.
Yeah. There's 15 people in here, and 3 of them are legitimate patrons.
Jesus Christ. I feel like this is a lot. Hector gave you a lot of money in his will, and this is a bad way to spend it.
Wait, hold on. On my principle, which is that justice must be done.
Yeah, fair. So there are 3 people in here. What's one of them look like? Jack.
One of them is
Let's do 4 people, just because there's 4
Okay,
of
4
us.
people.
one of them is a black woman in her 30s. She is holding a child.
Okay.
The child is not a baby. They're like 5. They're sitting
Okay.
on her lap.
Okay.
5 people, including the baby.
Okay, child. Allie, what's one of these people look like?
I think that there is a teen girl, like 17, in a school uniform, that's like sitting down doing her homework.
Okay. Art?
On the clear other side of the cafe, there's like a teen boy who's pretending to do his homework, but is really trying to just leave at the same time as the teen girl.
Uh-huh. Keith, do you have one, or do you want me to get the last one?
No, you can get the last one.
All right. There is a 50-something-year-old man who is in Coast Guard gear. He's in like a Coast Guard does the Coast Guard have admirals? What's the Coast Guard ranks?
I don't think they have admirals.
Coast Guard admiral.
Guard ranks.
They might.
I
I don't know.
think...
What's the highest
Commandant.
ranked person in the...
Commandant.
Ooh, that's good. Everyone go
no.
join the Coast
The
Guard.
Coast Guard is the Commandant is an admiral.
Oh my god.
Really
Yeah.
good.
The Admiral is a 4-star commissioned Navy flag officer rank in the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Coast Guard, or the United States Public Health Service Commissioned Corps.
They make
what?
$15,000 a month.
That's a lot. It's also a really
they're
good
probably
mountain goat
very
song.
old and have dedicated their entire career to their one job. They probably should be well paid for it.
Yeah. So not an admiral. I think that's probably too high. Maybe what's under a vice admiral? What's like
Rear
what's a
admiral.
1-star? Is that
No, wait, hang on.
rear admirals 2 different ranks? Flag officers. What's I want to go under captain. Captain, just a captain, just a captain.
No. Oh, Commodore. That's what it is. Commodore
Is
is
there-
below. Yeah, so it goes Commodore, Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, Admiral.
Are there Commodores in the Coast Guard or just?
Yes, there are. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then there's a Commodore in here.
How old is he?
50s.
50s? Okay.
Like thick
So he's
gray
not
hair,
great at his
big
job.
nose, big mustache. Wearing is in dress uniform but jacket on the chair, and like has like an IBM computer, like an IBM laptop, like a ThinkPad from 1998. And is looking at it like over his glasses.
I'm going to stand up.
who stole this document, by the way.
I'm going to stand up and wheel over towards him.
Okay. Just as a reminder that it is Patty's scene in terms of like who gets to do a thing.
Super true. Yeah.
So-
Sorry, Keith.
Also, Patty's the one doing this lockdown, right? So
But I've got a connection to a Coast Guard.
you do.
How does the Coast Guardsman react to the lockdown?
Keeps doing his work.
Keeps doing his work.
Eyes on the prize.
I say, this restaurant's on lockdown. A bunch of people go and bar the doors, and this Commodore is just typing away on his laptop.
Yeah.
I shut it.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I say this. What are you trying to do?
He looks up to you and he says, "I'm a very busy man.
This restaurant's on lockdown. That means no one leaves, no one works.
Please remove your hand from my device."
Please remove your device from my friend's device, huh?
I don't know what you mean.
You're the Coast Guard. Everybody knows what the Coast Guard does.
Everybody knows.
What does the Coast Guard do?
The Coast
Guards
Guard.
the coast.
The Coast Guard has their little fingers in all the pies in this town.
That
Ma'am, I'm a member of the U.S. Armed Forces. You will remove your hand from my device.
Patty?
I turn. I say okay, and then I walk behind him and I open the laptop. Let's see together what you are working on.
I think this is a body challenge because he's gonna like throw back the chair like at you. He's gonna stand up very rapidly and push back on the chair and like take a swing at Patty.
All right, let's do it. I'm able-bodied. I'm Patty. I'm Big Patty.
That's what they call you, Big Patty.
They call me Big Patty Think. Ready
All right.
for fighting.
So it is challenge time. I think it's 1-on-1. What's your body? I think this is
able.
body. Everyone else, I think, will fight his body. I think that's a fair. Okay, let's make sure we're
Are
good.
you sure this isn't mind? Which it is it's very smart to pick a fight with a Commodore.
And there is not any. I don't think there's any. What do you call it? Dice, right? There's no bargain dice here
I don't know. Is there not?
because you don't have. What's your body?
Able.
That's just 0, right? That's like that's like
Zero,
neutral.
Yeah, Abe neutral.
Okay. So I think it's just 1-on-1.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'm still trying to get these old dice to understand the dice. I'm trying to get these old dice to
Try and get these old
understand the
dice
rules.
to understand the dice.
Yeah.
All right, not looking
All right,
good
so then
for
I'm
me.
gonna roll. Nope. And then random. But hey, maybe it'll be. Nope. That's a 5.
Nope, that's a 5.
That's a negative. So on a black, if the black die is too high or more, you fail.
Okay.
Right. You only get a bargain, right? If this part of the die is tied, is like the stalemate, right? Yeah. All right. So what happens? What happens when this old?
I make a big show of falling over, and I say, I'm being attacked by an officer of the U.S. Armed Forces! That's what I do.
That's fine. The supporter has to say what the result of this negative is, besides the fact that you get to keep this black die down here.
God. I don't know whether or not he does something really sinister.
The Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Die, the Commodore. Like what?
I think he picks up his coat as you're lying on the floor, and he puts his dress coat on, and he straightens his shoulders, and then he bends down and whispers something to you, and then just sits back in his chair again.
What does he whisper to me?
I think what he says is, you have the document, and I have the document, but I have seen them.
The crab man.
All right. Does he just walk out? Yeah. He just walks to the
Yeah,
door and
he just-
unbars it and leaves,
Yeah,
right?
and leaves. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm not paying you guys if you're not going to keep people from leaving.
Should have rolled rep instead of body, I guess. We should have. That should have been that way. That would have been worse, actually. Your rep would have been one more
rep is
black die.
minus
Jesus
one.
Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you do still have the document, so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pour over it for more? Like, what do you do now that this guy's gone? What's the investigation part of this look like?
I think probably the most useful thing would be to like cross-reference the stuff that I find in this document with other stuff that I have.
Okay. So that sounds like mind, for sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anybody ever bring y'all drinks? Do you ever get drinks? Because I want a drink. I want a coffee real bad.
I would love one.
That'd be good.
Is this in character? We're in a coffee shop.
You are in a coffee shop.
I said that I wanted a chai latte like 20 minutes ago. This is really stressful.
Oh, I think
People still bring drinks when the place is in lockdown.
Well, what else
yeah,
are we
I
going to
think
do? We
we
can
work
only drink
here.
the drinks that are here.
Yeah.
I think one of Keith's. I think one of Patty's like heavy inverted commas. One of Patty's people shows up. Who's just like who's a real big guy, called Herbert Bix.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Bix, and Herbert Bix has got a tray with drinks on, and
Oh, right. Herbert Bix, you're getting paid.
that's what we agreed to. Yes, here are your drinks. Slam. Patty, did you punch that man?
No, he is like I was attacked by an officer of the U.S. Armed Forces. You all saw it. I extend my hand to get pulled up by Bix and in palmed him $40, which is the only way I've ever paid anyone by shaking hands, and it's just suddenly there.
She just gave me $40.
Good.
That was you. That's what we agreed to.
$30 isn't bad.
Wasn't
What was it?
expecting any Commodore punching.
What was the first name on Bix?
Herbert.
Herbert. Thanks, Herbert. Here's the chai latte.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And now that you have that, there's you now all go back to your various devices to look over this document.
Yeah.
Patty, it's time for a investigation roll. This is definitely
get two?
mind, right?
Yeah, this is
Then you get a third one, goes over here for the bargain.
Okay.
The bad dice there are 3 of them. Oh, there's 2 over for the bargain because you got an answer now. Because you got 1 answer.
Oh, awesome.
Which is good.
Great.
I'm gonna mark.
and there's also actually five for the
No, there are in fact 6 because
6. Right? Yeah. Sorry, I said 5. I meant 6.
yeah, which is bad. Because of the negative before, and because of the 2 bad places. All right.
Man,
Who wants to roll
I feel
what?
Well, I'm gonna roll the white dice.
Okay. I'll roll the black ones. Someone roll the bargains.
I've got the bargain.
4 and a 5, not bad.
4 and a 5
Pretty
ain't
okay.
bad. Ain't bad.
4 and a 5 ain't bad.
Oh, this was a bad roll on my side.
This was a bad roll for you.
Mhm.
Somebody roll the
Yeah,
okay.
I think Ali got him. So 5 and a 3, which is a.
All right, so that's fine. I get 1 miss.
Oh, I see what you're
There's
gonna
no way I can beat the 5.
do. Right, except for breaking your principle.
Which is
Justice must be done.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
You're not ready to break that?
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm not ready to break that.
So that means
So what do I get?
You're going to get to add a random lead or draw or make a connection twice. That's the 2 things you
Okay.
get. The 4 is that.
I'm
the 5 is
gonna
that.
do one of each.
Okay. And then just so you
And then
know, the
5 is damage
a condition.
A condition.
yeah, whichever one
Probably
that you
my-
get, so your
my
mind in
mind.
this case, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, so 2.
That's totally
you're
fair.
adding 1 new lead.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw
Ooh,
a card.
It's
Okay,
the
you do
King
the
of
card.
Diamonds.
King of Diamonds. What does that mean for me?
That means that it is. I have to look at a table for that. Is what that means. It is either a former detective or officer, the Lion's Den, or a priceless object.
And do I get to pick?
Yeah, you get to pick any of those 3. And it is in
Okay.
the upper crust, the shore,
It's in the
or
upper
it's related
crust.
to
Okay.
that, whatever it is.
Let me
The
look.
fuck is
let
the
me look real
Lion's
quick.
Den?
It's the Norlandia table. What is the lion? I think the Lion's Den. Is the Lion's Den a place?
Yeah, it's a place. The place is Lion's Den. The person is a former detective or officer, and the thing is a priceless object.
Wait, so like my immediate like gut reaction to the Lion's Den is like the place where like the
It's this place where the bad thing is happening, right? Like
yeah, like the headquarters of the bad
Oh,
guys.
sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that man, that sounds pretty good. What was the
No, there is also just the
see.
former detective officer. Officer is broad. Commodores are officers.
Fuck yeah, let's do that. I like that. Yeah, so we're gonna
he's
do
not
this.
a former.
I'm a former officer.
You are.
Yeah, you're a new lead. No,
I have something to hide.
Yeah.
I think Art's right. I can't do former officer for a current officer.
True.
But priceless object and Lion's Den are both really
They are.
good. Or former officer could be a different Coast Guardian.
Right.
Is Coast Guardian
Yeah.
it?
Yep. It's Coast Guardian.
Yeah,
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Coast Guardian.
Guardian of the Coast.
Yeah. It's the evolution from custodian. Custodian, Coast Guardian, and then there's the third one.
Yeah.
That's
why some people call them Coast Janitors.
Right.
It's the same root.
so Lion's Den.
I'm gonna do
A former officer.
Yeah, I'm gonna do former officer. Former officer of the Coast Guard.
And so you find that's what you find as a name.
That's what I find
Okay.
is the name. Yeah.
Let me get you a name. 1 second.
Ooh, I don't have to spend one on my names.
If you have a name that you think works for this, that's good.
I have one that works with it. I think in a way that is a joke.
Mine is Strada. It's Captain Strada.
Okay.
Strada.
It was Warwick formerly.
Yes, former Captain Strada.
No, sorry, Warwick formerly was the name that I had.
Yeah, I don't have a first name. I don't have a good first name here. Lester, Leslie Strada.
Yeah, that's a good name.
That's good.
Okay. How does it appear in this document?
I think the redaction was done in a pretty hurried way, and so there's parts where it refers to former vice admiral, and then former captain, and then it's redacted, and then we can see like a bit of the first letter,
Right.
First couple letters, and a bit of the last couple letters in a different spot, and then we get all of those people are public record.
Right.
We can just look up.
Cool.
So that's how we found Captain Leslie Strada. And then I have a connection. Do I get to make the connection?
You get to make the
Or-
connection. It's not a random connection, though.
It's not a... Okay, so...
Yeah. Add a new lead or a string a connection between any two leads.
So, I'm going to... this is... I know what to do. I'm going to make a connection between... Wait, hold on. I should ask this question because it might be so dumb that why would I even do this? Cause of death, gun, close range. You could just connect that to Hector Who.
Totally
right?
can connect it right to Hector Who. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to, with that being said, I'm going to connect Captain Leslie Strada with Hector Who.
Oh, okay. You're doing that one. You're not doing the gun one.
No,
Okay.
no. Which can be done.
Yes, you have to do it, but that's pretty obvious, actually. Yes, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cool. How do you make that connection? Just in this document, right? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Is it a name that Hector says in the interrogation, or is it just in the?
This is the interrogation.
The
like,
document
that he
is like
lost
a
from his
transcription
memory.
from an interrogation. It's a bunch of other information, but is it? Yeah, I think that's a good connection point. Okay, so where we are right now as we wrap, we have one answer, which is why was the victim killed, which is this had stolen a piece of strange evidence that from a communication between the mayor's office and Olerin Shaw Office of Requisitions, and that's one answer. Two, we have the cause of death is a gun at close range that happened at the Showdog fancy hot dog shop that's since burned down. We have Captain Leslie Strada of the Coast Guard, a name that you found in this document. It's connected to Hector Who. We have the outskirts in Omega Love condition alert on Omega Love, and we have some people in some places. We have some people who are a little more beat down than these. In fact, we have to end on that, which is that you have a 5 in black, which means that you have to lower your mind by 1 from sharp to just whatever the 0 one is to no black, no white. So that's gonna do it. We'll be back next month. Do we have a good closing scene here? Do you just delete them after we found that, Chris? Or do you make this document? Like, do you basically open up an app that is this screen and start drawing these out?
Yeah, I think that, like, she spends time, like, recreating it. In terms of, like, refilling in those blank spaces.
Yeah, I think maybe we just get we get the montage shots of, like, you building out this corkboard with string. What do we get from everybody else? What's, like, the one image?
Tyler Taylor Pierce takes a sip of his coffee and like adjusts his hair in his front-facing phone camera.
Patty Fink has a pad of sticky notes that has the words "reduced pay" already on the pages, and I'm sticking those on $10 bills and handing them to each person in the coffee shop.
Florence slowly has turned in her booth chair and is just like staring at the booth chair where the commandant was.
From that shot, and this is like the shot that we end on, is you looking out the window. Like you're looking at that chair, and behind him is a window, like going to the front out the exit, and it's out of focus. And then it comes into focus for like a half of a second. You blink your eyes and it comes into focus, and you see Hector Hu getting onto a bright blue jitney, and behind him the sea is orange. He like looks back at you for half a second, his like wireframe glasses, his like soul patch, his eyes looking like deep into you, and just like steps on, and the jitney drives away.